mighimo tolangit sikoy ko kamighimo taaldawoy bulan ikaw ang nagbuhat sa kabituunan ikaw ang nagbuhat sa kalibutan manama mawantog ka warag po ko ilingkoy ko o Diyos kahibulungan ka busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم آمين يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم اجمع شمل المسلمين والكريستيان والأمة في مدينة دمام وسلم دائما مجتمعنا هذا بالسلم والأمن والتقدم في بلدنا هذا آمين يا رب العالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times we have offended you, when we forget to acknowledge your presence in the image of our brothers and sisters, and for moments we fail to be good stewards of the blessings you have given us. Continue to guide and protect each one of us, Lord, that we may always walk in the lights of your everlasting love and mercy. Grant us, Father, with your comfort in times of distress and with your strength in times of weakness. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we may in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with the prayer and the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Manama mawantog ka warag po ko ilingkoy ko o Diyos kahibulungan ka busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko.
Cognizant to the needs of our learners, parents, and teachers, the Department of Education provided us with powerful tools for productivity that will allow us to foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills to be compassionate, responsible global citizens. Join us and discover new ideas in our series of professional development training program with the ICTS EdTech Unit and Microsoft Education Philippines. Together, we will equip our learners and empower our fellow educators for a dynamic future. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong Edukalidad.
We've been going through so much these past couple months, and I just want to check in and see how are you guys feeling right now? With all these different emotions and things happening in our world, how are we feeling?
Learning can happen anywhere.
With my laptop and with my notepad, I had everything that I needed.
They're using lots of different apps that are new to them. They're loving Flipgrid and enjoying doing the videos.
Teachers are using OneNote in the classroom, Flipgrid in the classroom to increase the level of learning.
Students are able to show their personality through the online platforms.
Thank you for everything.
It's my pleasure to be a teacher. With more ideas, we can create a better world.
The most important thing is not what you learn, but then what we can do with that.
I live in Delhi and we designed an acid rain shield for Taj Mahal.
I know that I can make a difference.
That I am learning.
That I have a voice.
And that I matter.
We're getting into a whole new way of learning. And when something is new or something is challenging, what do? We take a deep breath. Hold it for that second and let it out.
Right, so good morning at magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Sir Ariel, good morning sa iyo.
Good morning, Tutor Madge. Okay, so magandang umaga rin sa ating mga taga-subaybay dito lang sa EdTech Unit Tech Talks. Isa na namang napaka-exciting na umaga ang manggaganap ngayon dahil marami tayong good news from Microsoft family. Ayan, at tayo ay sasamahan Tutor Madge ng isa sa napakasipag talaga na kasama sa ating Microsoft family. Kailangan mo na.
Sige. Ang aga naman, ipasok na natin yan. Ang ating regular na nakasama sa ating mga Saturday, sa ating mga susunod din pang Saturday na Microsoft Tech Talks. Walang iba, from Microsoft Philippines, Miss Grace ko. Good morning, Miss Grace.
Good morning to all of the watchers and viewers. Hello, hello.
Yes, hello. Good morning. Kumusta, Miss Grace? Kayo ba ay nakapag-breakfast na?
Yes, actually it's a chilly Saturday morning kasi nandito ako ngayon sa Mindanao. So may low pressure. At saka actually may bagyo ngayon pero medyo nakita ko naman na yung araw. So looks like it's going to be a great day.
Yeah, so we hope na mas maging okay na yung weather dyan at ating mga kapatid sa Mindanao. Kumusta po kayo? Sana po kayo ay safe. At of course, yung mga kapatid din natin sa Taal, no? Yung mga recent na balita nga sa Batangas at mga nearby provinces. Ayan, we pray na tayo ay lahat ay safe.
Yes.
So Sir Ariel, nakaraang linggo, we talk about also Microsoft Teams with Sir Christian Katahan. Ano yung mga learning takeaways natin dyan? Mga natutuhan natin?
Ang learning takeaways ko talaga dito, it's number one, yung Microsoft is helping us to connect with other people. Pero yung Microsoft Teams na tinatawag natin, it's not just for chatting, it's not just for messaging na purposes, no? Kasi sa classroom pa lang, sa school pa lang, magagamit na natin to. And number two na takeaway ko doon is that yung security ng ating mga learners and teachers ay talagang safe na safe tayo dito sa paggamit ng Microsoft Teams, di ba?
Exactly. And yung mga add-ons pa nga na akala natin ay lalabas pa tayo o kailangan natin mag-open pa ng another app, ay pwede na pala doon lang din sa Microsoft Teams. So how about you, Miss Grace? Mga na-observe ninyo na feedback at yung mga messages na nababasa natin from our comment section?
Yes, I think we're seeing more and more teachers ngayon actually asking kung how to use Microsoft Teams. Kaya nga po sa araw na ito, we've invited mga real life practitioners, mga fellow teachers nyo din at mga kasama nyo at isang kasama nyo sa DepEd para syempre mas mabigyan pa natin ng context talaga na ngayon na alam na nila na may ganitong features, how do we actually apply it and use it sa ating day-to-day teaching. So, exciting kasi ngayon we are seeing more and more teachers asking kung saan ba nila ito maa-access. So, kami din po, excited kami na i-share sa inyo itong resources kasi nga, syempre, at the end of the day, gusto naman natin ma-maximize nyo kung ano yung meron kayo. So, yun, abangan nyo po yung session today. Super practical at hands-on po at magagamit nyo agad-agad.
Alright, so maraming salamat, Miss Grace. Biglang na yan pati since yung message ni Miss Grace ay parang welcoming remarks na rin na talagang abangan po ninyo at huwag kayong bibitaw ngayong umaga. Alright? Thank you, Miss Grace.
Yes.
Babalikan ka namin mamaya.
Okay.
Alright, Sir Ariel. So, ayan nga. So, other than the different features nga, mga add-ons, ay sabi nga ni Miss Grace ay mas in-depth pa at mas from the grassroots, kumbaga. Paano nila ginagamit ang Microsoft Teams sa classroom? Sige, huwag na natin patagalin pa. Ipakilala mo na. Tandem din tong speakers natin today. Sige nga, Sir Ariel, pakilala mo na ang ating unang speaker. Kasama din natin na mga speakers.
Yes, it's our privilege to have them, no? Talagang napakaswerte ng ating mga teachers, ng ating mga followers, no, dito sa Tech Talks kasi tayo ay sinamahan ng ating isang kasamahan sa Microsoft. He is a graduate of AB and BSED magna cum laude from Xavier University Ateneo de Cagayan. He received his MA in Educational Management from the Institute of Development and Educational Administrators or IDEA at the same university. Presently, he is a registrar of their junior high school. And then in 2009, he was awarded the Fulbright Foreign Language Teaching Assistant or FLTA program and taught at Northern Illinois University in Illinois, USA. He is also recognized as a Microsoft Innovative Education Expert or MIEE. MIEE Fellow, Microsoft Certified Educator, and has represented the country during the Microsoft Education Exchange or E2 in 2018 in Singapore. So without further ado, ang ating isa sa mga napaka-expert sa ating pag-uusapan ngayon, Mr. Anito Librando Jr.
Wow! So good morning, Sir Nitz. Ayan,
Hi, everyone!
Good morning, sir. Ayan, so we hope na excited for kayo today for our session. Pero bago yan, siyempre papakilala ko rin yung katandem ni Sir Nitz for this session. So papakilala ko na Sir Nitz and Sir Ariel. So
go.
Our next speaker or partner ni Sir this morning is a graduate of Bachelor's Degree in Computer Science with Professional Education Units from Xavier University, Ateneo de Cagayan. He is currently working as the Project Development Officer for the Youth Formation Program with the Department of Education Division Office of Cagayan de Oro City. Prior to joining DepEd, he was formerly the Instructional Technology Specialist for Xavier University Basic Education Unit, wherein he worked with the members of the faculty on the design and development of instructional content that were used in blended and online courses, planned, coordinated, and conducted workshops on the use of new technologies to improve curriculum and instruction. He was also part of the Xavier University Technical Support Committee, which provided support and training of the Flexible Learning Program. He also worked as Regional Learning and Development Officer for the Australian Aid Basic Education Sector Transformation Program, or BESS,
where he was supported the implementation of contextualized activities for the Learning and Development System Trial in the Department of Education, Division of Bukidnon. Part of his advocacy is to support capacity building of teachers with the use of technology. He once spearheaded the Society for Technology in Education Philippines, or the STEP, National EdTech Conference in 2018. He is a Microsoft Innovative Educator Fellow, a Microsoft Education Ambassador, and a Microsoft Certified Educator. Let's all welcome Sir Michael Dave Tan, or Sir Dave. Good morning, sir.
Hi, yes. Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here.
Alright, so mga big time ang mga kasama natin today, ano, Sir Ariel? So excited kami para sa session natin ngayon.
Yan, so talagang good morning talaga to, no, sa ating mga teachers at siyempre dahil sinamahan tayo ng dalawa sa experts sa Microsoft, and then they are also educators, kaya talagang makaka-relate ang ating mga participants ngayong umaga.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So, habang kayo ay nagkakape o nagpe-prepare ng almusal or kung ano man po ang ginagawa ninyo, pwedeng nag-check ng module o naghahanda na ng mga gagamitin nyo, or pwedeng yung iba na mamalengke pa. Kasi may mga participants po tayo na laging on the go, yung mga teachers natin na laging pong nakasubaybay sa mga webinar sessions ng EdTech Unit. So, kayo po, sit back, relax, listen, at sana po ay marami tayong matutuhan ngayong araw, and we are very excited dahil sa ating mga speakers today. So, Ariel, let's again, virtual applause muna. Maraming salamat po agad-agad sa ating mga speakers today. In behalf po ng EdTech Unit, ayan, take it away, sir, and nandito lang po kami sa likod.
Go ahead, see you later.
All right, thank you, Sir Ariel and Sir Maj. Sir Nitz.
Okay, so before we begin, we would like also to thank, of course, our DepEd EdTech Unit. We have Tutor Maj, and of course we have Tutor Ariel, and of course we also have Microsoft Philippines with Grace Go for having us here in our DepEd EdTech Unit stream event, our Tech Talks, and of course our teachers, parents, and students who are also watching with us here live in our stream event. So, Dave, so ako muna yung magsa-start, di ba?
Oo, syempre, ikaw yan una, Sir Nitz.
So, I'll try to share my screen. Okay. So, once again, good morning sa lahat. Andito kami ngayon sa Mindanao, dito sa Cagayan de Oro at Xavier University Junior High School. And of course, it's a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm sure most of us are still trying to relax for the weekend, but we hope, personally, I hope that you will also learn from what we are going to share with you, and be able to learn about our experience. So basically, parang we are going to divide this into two parts. The first part is, of course, we would like to share our experience because we have had a great experience with using Microsoft Teams in our school. And at the same time, we'll also do a simulation later on and a demo for you. So you'll be able to at least be able to appreciate how it actually works and how Microsoft Teams works well with education. So a little bit of history lang po mga kasama natin ngayon, at mga parents, mga students, and of course mga teachers who are watching our stream live event. I'm Sir Nitz, and I'm from Xavier University Junior High School, and we are a Microsoft Showcase School, and we are the first in Mindanao. And of course, there are other showcase schools in the Philippines and more around the world. And I started as a Microsoft Innovative Educator in 2006, and it was in 2016, and in 2017, this was where we were awarded the Microsoft Showcase School. Ayan. So of course we started. It started with our a singular teacher, no, yung ITS namin. Then of course nag-multiplier effect na siya. So we had more teachers who were interested in using tech tools in their classrooms and be able to use them with their students and even and also for professional development. So we were able to do a lot of things. We were able to train our own teachers and at the same time our community. So as a Microsoft Showcase School, we were able to train our Tulong Dunong partner schools. These are from DepEd, and then we were able to also train ALS teachers in Cagayan de Oro, yung mga teachers ng alternative learning system. And then we also were able to train alive teachers in Cagayan de Oro. So these are the teachers who are teaching Arabic language and Islamic values education. And because of the things that we have done, not only in our school, but of course in the community that we have, I was very fortunate to be chosen by Microsoft to represent the Philippines together with two of the best DepEd teachers I know. It's Michael. I think you can see Michael there in the center. Michael Morelia is from Pasig City, and then of course with Miss Mary V. Castro of General Santos City. So sila po yung kasama ko together with the Microsoft teams and of course our mga EdTech leaders also. We have Miss Grace over there. And in Singapore, we were able to learn. We were able to present also our best practices, and we were able to also be up to date with the things that are going around, especially in how to teach using technology. So yun, it was a very fruitful experience for me, and as a teacher, I was able to also share and learn from other teachers from around the world. So this is me in that event, and I was presenting my my lesson together with the rest of the other teachers from around the world. So my work as a teacher in the classroom and using technology and presenting it to the world was really something that I look forward, because it was something that I really feel like a lesson plan that can be shared to the world. So pwede palang ganon. So we are from the Philippines, and then we are able to still help others become better teachers. So what Microsoft Educator community did to me personally was to broaden my professional learning network. So hindi lang yung professional learning network sa cubicle natin, sa school, hindi lang din yung professional learning network natin sa community, but really the professional learning network of teachers from around the world. So yun yung isa sa mga something that I really learned and I really appreciate it by being part of the Microsoft Educator community. Now, some of the two very important quotes that I'd like to emphasize for this session are, for this one's from Plato, and it says like, our need will be the real creator, or it commonly known naman na parang alam natin yung quote na necessity is the mother of invention, ganon. So that's from Plato in his book in the Republic. So as an educator, I really when I encounter technology, what I do is I try to find out what are the ways or what are the opportunities for me to use the technology in my present lesson plan. So whatever lesson plan I have, it gets evolved or it gets improved because of the technology. And it also pushes me to use the technology that we have. Kasi pag hindi mo siya ginamit sa school or hindi mo siya ginamit sa lesson plan mo, then para lang siyang nandun sa, para mo lang siyang narinig sa isang television, no? or sa isang seminar, yung ganon. But when we are able to create something based on what we have learned, and I think that's very important for educators, especially when technology is evolving. And the second quote that I really appreciate is this one's from Joseph Chilson Pierce, and it says something like, to live a creative life, we must lose our fear of being wrong. So, of course, even if we are teachers, we are only facilitators. In this day and age, we are able to facilitate learning, and we are able to bring students to the as gateway. No, we are able to facilitate and be able to show to them the things that they need to learn or they want to know or explore. So there's nothing wrong if, for example, nagkakamali tayo, and it's a good thing because every time we get to miss something or hindi tayo we're not able to do it successfully, it's an opportunity for me personally to learn. And so with that, then, ang nangyari, to cut the story short, the pandemic happened, no? So of course, we were already doing our work as educators, as teachers, and then siguro by March na yun, so nagkakaproblema na tayo with how we can continue to do our tasks needed to run the school. So I think this is something that everyone can relate, whether it's a teacher or administrator or even the parents, no, and the students. How are we going to continue? How are we going to send our students to school? And how are we going to run? No, as this is the question from our end, kasi kami naman yung mga administrators and mga teachers who are supposed to make the work for our students and for our stakeholders. So yon, and the reason why, and then of course, going back to the two quotes, I personally need to be creative and be able to also use what we have and create something new. So one of the things that we really were concerned about during that time of the pandemic, actually tatapos na namin yung school year. So pero meron pa din, of course, alam ng mga teachers to, meron naman tayong mga things that we need to do for summer. And ako po yung naatasan na gumawa ng summer school program because that's my work as a summer school director. So imagine, tapos na yung school year, pero may work pang gagawin. But how are you going to make it happen? How are you going to make it work now that you don't have your teachers with you in school? You don't have the administrators with you kasi nandun sila lahat sa bahay. And of course, the students who are with us, no? They're not anymore in school. How are you going to be able to do that? So it was really of course, a strike. Being creative and being able to think of the things that we actually have. Me together with Dave and of course Miss Leia. Hi, Miss Leia. Si Miss Leia po yung aming assistant principal for academics, and she's been a strong supporter of what we are doing, and of course she's also an EdTech champion herself. We and together with our principal, Dr. Pamela Quinto Pahente. Hi, Doc Pam. And what we did was we were able to come up with a program for our summer school. So instead of the usual summer school, what we did was we transformed it into the summer school distance learning program for 2020. It has to be done kasi meron din tayong mga students who failed and students who still need to cope after the end of the school year. So hindi naman namin sila pinasa lahat or hindi naman sila pumasa lahat technically. So there's a need for us to continue the learning, the teaching, and so we had to be very creative. And what we realized was that we already have some of these tools with us. We already have Microsoft as our partner, and we also have the tools that we need. And so we decided to use what we have. Hindi lang namin siya fully in-apply when we were still here in the regular school year. So we decided to use Microsoft Teams. And so it was a decision based on, of course, being able to identify what things needed to work. And so we were able to see that since andyan na siya, we have it already, but we didn't know how it really would work. So parang it's just an app, no? But how will it work for us? So yun, kailangan namin siyang aralin within that particular time span. So that's Microsoft Teams in general. And interesting siya, di ba? Ang galing. It's a very seamless and it's very interactive. When we started working on it, of course, there are a lot of LMS. Marami namang, if you want to go online and you really want to have that remote learning experience, of course, you have asynchronous and synchronous sessions. But when we had Microsoft Teams, we stick to the commitment of using it. Ang daming LMS na pwedeng pagpilian. You can name any of those LMS that are available. You can even create your own LMS. But we were very conscious that at that time, we needed something that was established. We wanted something that was ready, that was something that we can actually just seamlessly, rather be able to, madali na lang namin siyang magamit, parang ganon. And we can introduce it to our students and then of course to our teachers. Ginagamit na namin yung Microsoft Teams sa mga meetings. But in the teaching, hindi pa namin siya ginagamit by then. So what happened was when we worked on it, importante that of course hindi lang naman the LMS will not work on its own, but we were very fortunate because of course Microsoft Philippines is here, no, and we can always ask them for advice and how this thing works or how we can improve a particular area. And then of course with Microsoft Teams, maraming teachers from around the world are using Microsoft Teams, and we have a lot of Microsoft Teams or educator champions who are figuring out how to make it work and how to improve it. And so naki-ride on kami doon kasi that's already an international collaboration, and that's really what 21st century is. No, we will be encountering, and our students will be encountering future problems that will need them to collaborate with others. So what we did is we collaborated with DepEd. We were able to inform them that we were working on our summer school, and then we also collaborated with Microsoft so that we can work on our remote learning. And of course, you have to convince your administrators that this is going to work. And then, of course, introduce it to your parents and teachers and students. So we needed to draft some policies, and then our teachers were, we have amazing teachers who were able to create new curriculum maps for summer classes, thinking about synchronous and asynchronous learning. Of course, yung summer enrollment, no? And then we're able to create Teams account for students and teachers alike. And then, of course, you need to calendar tasking and the activities. And then si Dave ang expert dito kasi ginawa talaga niyang EdTech crash course on distance learning. So we had to train teachers, and our teachers, when they started using Teams, it was seamless. They know what to do because, of course, comfortable na sila with other Microsoft apps. You know, we have Word, PowerPoint, and so much more that we can introduce later on. Then we needed to supervise the program. And then, of course, si Sir Dave, siya yung nagpo-provide ng tech support. And to conduct deliberations and evaluation. So we were able to successfully conduct our summer school program, and we were also able to start our enrollment. So the question now is, okay, tapos ang summer school, magaling. The bigger question now is, how are you going to run the next school year? So even if it was a small group, I believe we only had around 10 teachers with us and a few administrators for summer school. But that already was an idea to be creative and to use what we have. And what we did was we just expanded it. So this is how we're going to work for the next school year. And of course, medyo dehado pa tayo sa if people are going to trust, no, that it's going to work. So we were able to show to everybody, and we were able to explain to parents, and of course advertise that indeed we were ready because we were able to do it, and we had our Microsoft Teams as our partner, no, and for our remote learning. And sa awa ng Diyos, we even had more than what we had in terms of our enrollment projection. So that was really amazing because it also shows, no, we had our teachers, summer school teachers, providing or promoting what they have experienced using during the summer school. And from there, we were able to have a good number of students enrolled this school year because of being creative and using what we actually have. So I think Sir Dave will be able to explain more of these later on sa part ni Dave, but we were able to do all of these things and more because we already had the Teams as our learning venue. So Monday assemblies, convocations, check, no? We were able to do that. We were able to integrate it. Yung mga teachers, yung mga assigned, yung mga assigned teachers are able to work on it. Our school chaplain was able to come up with an interesting online retreat and recollection program based on Microsoft Teams. We also have our masses and Eucharistic celebrations. We have parents consultations. We are able to inform parents. Mga reading of honors natin. Our guidance counselors have their own teams where they have online counseling. And we also were able to, we were able to invite an alumni, an alumnus who was a DJ, and we were able to incorporate parang feel-good music to our students. So even if they're studying online, meron silang feel-good music na pwede parang mix siya, parang ganon. So yun yung isa sa mga ginawa ng mga guidance counselors namin. And then we also have online medical consultations, online library services, our student council was able to gather the council of presidents, and one of the very important things is yung mga departmental activities na gagawa pa rin namin. So we have English month, yung Christian humanism na CH month namin, Araling Panlipunan, or we have our math week. Yung mga ganon, we are able to do games, trivia, contests, no, mga elocution, extemporaneous, nagagawa pa din namin yan. And recently, no, last year we had online Christmas parties. So saya-saya ng mga teachers when we had our Christmas parties, and even in their classes we had alternative Christmas parties. And of course, ang walang kamatayang faculty meetings, no. So of course it's still there, whether it's a committee meeting or a faculty meeting or meeting with administrators. It works seamlessly with Microsoft Teams. Okay, so I guess we can have a demo later on, but I can introduce to you the parts of Microsoft Teams, and we can know how to get started, get organized, to communicate, okay, to share and organize files, assignments and grades, and class notebook. So let me just use another deck. So if you have any questions, we could answer them from the comments part, and then while we are transferring to another deck, we can also emphasize those parts later on when we will discuss the Teams for Education. And I'm coming up with a quick start guide for educators. Dave will be introducing a quick start guide for students naman later. Ayan. So I hope you guys can see this PDF.
Hi, Sir Nitz. So, na-mention niyo, Sir Nitz, yung ating mga faculty meetings na nakakamiss. Naalala ko tuloy faculty meetings natin.
Oo, may faculty meetings pa din using Microsoft Teams. So kahit saan ka, nasa bahay ka, nasa office, or even if we all gather together, you can actually gather people using Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, so talagang, Chair Ariel, di ba, talagang namimiss ko rin talaga yung faculty meetings, pero yung, alam mo yung may mga kanya-kanya dalang baon, may mga anik-anik na mani, may mga iba-ibang dala, so sharing. So nakakamiss talaga yung mga ganong moments. Pero hindi yan mapapapigil kahit na tayo may pandemic ay talagang still need to connect, no? At yan nga, using Microsoft Teams, we can still conduct mga faculty meetings and even yung mga na-mention ni Sir na mga events at programs ng school. Wow, ang galing.
Lalo na yung summer class program nila, Sir Anitz, talagang masaya yun. At posible talaga na magawa. Tsaka yung quotation ni Sir Nitz, to live a creative life, we must lose our fear of being wrong.
Correct.
Tandaan natin yan.
Tama. So wag matakot na sumubok. At katulad nga niyan ay yung mga summer programs. And alam mo ba, Sir Ariel, tayo rin sa EdTech, dahil meron nga tayong itulay, ay magkakaroon din tayo ng mga summer programs. And mga katulad niyan, tayo, every morning meron tayong math remediation. Ayan.
Yan na. Mukhang ready na ulit si Sir Nitz.
Ayan.
Sir Nitz, take it away, sir.
Thank you very much, Tutor Madge and Tutor Ariel. So, yun nga, no, those things, we were able to possibly do them using Microsoft Teams. And so we can get started. We need to do how to sign in. We can create classes and add students to our class. So it's very easy. We have, you go to office.com on your web browser. So if you have your web browser, punta na kayo sa office.com and sign in with your school email and password. So kami meron naman kaming account with Microsoft Teams, and I believe DepEd also has its own Microsoft Teams account for DepEd teachers. And so we have there, you can, and then once you're in, you have all the apps that are available. Some of these you might be familiar with. You have Outlook, you have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and of course, yung Teams. I know yung mga teachers na may mga teachers na gumagamit ng class notebook, meron din gumagamit ng Sway, and of course yung forms. And gusto ko talaga yung streams. That's something that we can explore also later. So how do you create a class team? So once you're already in Teams, you may already have classes set up by you or your IT administrator. So you can go on the panel to the left and you can select Teams from the bar app, and rather in the app bar, and then, or you can also select or join to create a team. And then, or you can also create a team on your own. So there are different types of class. So a team can have different types. So we have a class. So kung gusto niyo, kung may classes kayo, you can create that. And then if you want to have, for example, yung mga meetings, ibang teams yon. So we call that the professional learning community. You can click on that, and this is an educator working group. And then if you have staff members, you can also have a school administrator and staff development. You can also create a team for that, and other teams. You can also do that. So there are 4 different team types. And then you can enter the name and optional description for your class team, and then select next. So, and then once you already have the class, you can now create or add the students that you have. So during enrollment, binibigyan sila ng mga accounts, and then you can already add them based on their sections that you have been assigned to. So sa amin naman, we have assigned teachers who are help desk, so they're assigned to a particular year level. Sila yung parang IT admin namin per year level. So sila yung nag-a-assign ng mga students namin. So you can enter student names and select add, and then you can select close when you're finished. So sa amin, we had a way wherein niliitan namin yung class size because it's online. So dinoble namin yung sections namin. So before, we only had like around 12. Then for that year level, nagkaroon na ng 24. So parang ganon. So the lesser number of students per class, the more manageable it is online. Yan. And then you can add, you can also add students, in another way. You have the ellipsis there, which is actually the more options. So you can select add member, and then select manage team and view settings and a full list of class members. So that's the way to add students in Microsoft Teams. So you already started, you already have your classroom, may online classroom ka na. Now it's time to get organized. Syempre, mga teachers may mga modules, may mga worksheets, may mga handouts. This is the time for you to prepare or organize your files and assignments and notes in your class teams. So i-transfer mo yan siya sa Microsoft Teams. And I know marami sa mga teachers natin already have amazing modules na prepared. Yeah, so you can easily convert them as part of your Microsoft Teams. No need to change or add them, no? So on the channels, click on the tile of your class team to see your channels. So for example, dito yung physical science na class. So every class teams comes with a general channel. Ito yung parang kung sa amin parang homeroom. parang lahat ng sasabihin ng moderator dito ilalagay, or lahat ng reminders within that class dito mo ilalagay. And then the good thing about this is everybody's involved. So say for example, yung prefect or yung guidance counselor or yung principal mismo or yung assistant principal mo, pwede silang mag-announce individually each class, or pwede din silang as an entire community. So magme-message yung principal within the week. Ayan. So morning assembly, pwede yan. Pwede yung ma-watch, or they can watch that asynchronously, or they can do it synchronously. Sa amin, we do it every Mondays, di ba? So 7:30 nagsa-start kami ng synchronous. So that they can start their day early. And then of course, we want them to finish their studies by 4 o'clock. So channels here organize all the files, the conversations, and apps for a topic in one place. So yung general, yun yung parang homeroom, yun yung lahat ng mga announcements. And then yung mga different other channels, what we did was we assigned it, each channel was assigned to a particular subject. So imagine mo, isang classroom na, and then you have yung mga teachers nila, yung mga subjects nila. So they can click on the subject pag gusto nila ng English or math or science in that one particular teams. So yun yung ginawa namin. Hindi namin siya distribute na one team per subject. Hindi. Ginawa namin isang teams, and then from that team, nilagay namin yung mga subjects together with the teachers. So para isang teams lang talaga ang i-click nila. So every channel has tabs. So for example, science, math, English. So every teacher can post tab. They have the post tab for all the messages for this channel. And then you also have the files tab to store all the files shared in this channel. So imagine niyo, isang teams lang. The power of teams, isang teams lang. Lahat ng files ng teachers, pwede mo siyang i-organize. Files tab to store all the files, your class notebook tab, your assignments tab, pwede na nilang makita kung ano yung required assignments nila, and then of course that grades tab. So pwede nilang makita, or they can actually track their progress and their grading. Okay, so you can add channels. So what we did is we added subjects per class. Kasi yung isang teams namin is one section, and most of our sections are Jesuit priests and saints, yung ganun. So nag-change din yan, and you can actually change the icon there. So kung titingnan mo we have the faces of the many Jesuit priests and saints that we have na assigned per section. So to add channels, select more options, which is the 3 dots there, and then connect next to your class team's name, and then you add a channel. So if you want to add a new channel, you can enter a name and an optional description for your channel, and choose whether you like your channel to be standard or private. Okay, and then check the box automatically to show this channel in everyone's channel list, and click add. So if you notice also with Microsoft Teams, it kind of looks like most of the social media environments that we have right now. So meron din siyang mga notifications. So bawal ang mga unseen dito kasi meron talagang notifications. Teachers will be notified and then students will also be notified pag meron silang mga assignments. Pag change ni teacher yung instruction, or kumbaga may inedit lang siya, it will also be a notification. Mag-i-inform ang Microsoft Teams. And the good thing about this is, even if students are not using their laptops, they can actually download Microsoft Teams in their smartphones. So pwede din siya doon, no? Na-moderate ng mga parents, and then they can also see that even if they don't have other social media accounts, with Microsoft Teams, pwede yon. So they can actually do that. So now we're done with getting started and organizing our Microsoft Teams, now is the time for us to identify how we can communicate using Microsoft Teams. Yeah, so you can always message, right? So create a message for your whole class. You can click on the Teams, then pick a class and a channel, and then you can post tab, and then click the compose box, and then type your message and send click. So para lang din siya social media, no, na pwede kang mag-tag, pwede mo siyang i-act kung buong section ang gusto mong mag-announce. Or kung gusto mo naman, say for example, mag-emphasize na isang person, you can also do it using chat. So start a conversation with one student or group of students. Pwede mo silang i-kumpul-kumpul, or group 1 or group 2. So you can create a chat room, and then type the name of the student or the students you'd like to message, and type your message in the compose box and select send. So para siyang social media, but of course, safe. Everybody's in the community, alam lahat ng isa't isa kung sino sila. And because it's administered by your IT, all the students who are in are only your students. You will not have any visitors coming, no, or anybody who is outside your organization. And once it is posted, you can also reply to a conversation. So posts in channels are threaded like social media posts. So reply under the original post to keep all the messages in a conversation organized together. So pag may announcement si teacher, pwedeng mag-reply ang mga students. Sir, pwede bang ganito? Pwede bang ganyan? What about this? But usually my students chat me personally, not in social media, but in Microsoft Teams. So they would say, sir, if ganito, or if could I do this or do that, because I am teaching also English, so I do a lot of drafting in their write-ups. So before they do final work, I need to check if they were able to do their drafts properly. Yan. Aside from new conversations, pwede din kayong mag-announce. Iba yung announcement sa conversation, di ba? Pag-announce talaga. So use announcement feature to draw your students' attention to important posts. So sa amin, what we do is we divide the entire page of your channel sa section mo in terms of days, no? So ito yung day. So ina-announce namin yan, day 1, day 2. Ito yung gagawin ninyo for day 3. So select format and expand the compose box and choose announcement and select a background color to customize your post. So if I'm quite fast right now, later on, we will send you a link where you can actually do the demo yourself. So pag mabilis tayo ngayon, that's okay, because we're also checking on our time, but we will provide you with a link later where you can actually do a demo on your own. Meron tayong mga tinatawag na independent learner, kahit hindi na naririnig ang mga sinasabi ng teacher, pero will be able to do it alone. Ayun. So, you can also add fun with stickers and more. Pwede mo siyang lagyan ng stickers, pwede mo siyang lagyan ng emoji, and pwede mo din siyang lagyan ng mga animated GIFs. So gustong-gusto yan ng mga bata. And then we can also schedule a virtual meeting for your class. So every day we schedule a meeting, because in our school we only have 1 hour of synchronous sessions with them. The rest of the day they are doing asynchronous learning. So parang blended siya na during that synchronous, dun na sila that's where you answer questions, you clarify concepts, parang ganon. So you can use meetings in Teams to schedule virtual presentations and discussions for your whole class. You can select the plus new meeting and give your meeting a title and choose a date and time. And you can also decide if you'd like your meeting to recur daily or on a weekly basis, and add additional details. So select add channels to see if your class teams and their channels, then choose a channel to meet in. So what we did was, because we have sa junior high school, grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10. So sa isang araw, kasi meron tayong mga parents, di ba, or families that have more than one learner in their household. So what we did is, iniiba din namin yung schedule ng synchronous learning. So we start, say for example, ng 8 o'clock with grade 8, and then 9 o'clock with grade 9, 10 o'clock with grade grade 8, grade 7, 8 o'clock, and then parang 9 o'clock is with grade 8, and then we have grade 9 at 10, and then grade 10 namin is at 11. So I teach grade 10 English, so my classes every day is only at 11. So we have schedules for them before the class, and then we also have asynchronous activities for them after class. And we schedule it really na 7:30 to 4 lang. So anything, pag natapos nila lahat, yung activities nila within the day, they can do anything they want afterwards. They can do play, they can be with their families, no, or rest if they want. Because we also want them to manage their learning. Yeah. So you can schedule a virtual meeting for your class. You can take a moment to review your meeting, and once you're done, you can select send, okay? And you can meet your students using video and audio calls. So you use your video and audio chatting in Teams to meet with your students in groups or one-on-one. So you can have a new chat, and then you can also chat with them, or for example, if a student chats me a certain question and I want to explain it to him, I can just call him or do a video call. So kahit nasa, for example, outside ako, I can still use my phone to use Microsoft Teams. Ayan. And then you can join and manage a meeting. You can just select the calendar and navigate to the meeting you want to join. And you can open the meeting and select join, and double check your audio and video input, and turn on your camera and unmute your microphone to be heard. And select join to enter the meeting. So this is how the toolbar looks. Maybe we can do a demo later on. Pwede mo siyang i-turn on and off. Pwede mong i-mute and unmute. You can share your screen. As a teacher, you can access additional call controls like recording, which we do. We have to record our sessions because later on, it becomes a video on demand. So for those who were absent, pwede pa din silang makapag-participate ng synchronous session. Send chat messages, and you can also leave the meeting and add participants. And the good thing pala is you can actually check attendance. Pwede mo din ma-check using Microsoft Teams. You can have an attendance list. Malalaman mo na kung sino yung lumabas at sino yung pumasok at anong oras. Ayun. And then we have here share and organize files. You can actually share files using Microsoft Teams. You can just click attach. It can be from your Teams channel. It can be from your OneDrive, which we recommend. And then you can actually upload it from your computer. So wag niyo nang ilagay sa computers ninyo yung files na malalaki, or most of your files, we already placed them on OneDrive so that you can free your computer and hindi siya mag-hang at gumana talaga yung video at hindi kayo maglalag. So in your channel conversations, you can click attach, and you can select different options from there. And then you can share a link, and then you can also you can open and then send, and the file you shared can be found in the Files tab. So anything that you share can also be included in the Files tab. So you can add class materials. No, so you have say for example, you want your syllabus to be included. and or your class rules, you can use the class materials folder. That is something that they cannot edit. No, that is something that they can only view. Yeah. And then of course, in any class, you will need to assign things and also to evaluate them. So you can always create an assignment. This for me is a breeze. This for me is the best part also of Microsoft Teams. Kasi you can automatically come up with assignments and quizzes, and then you can grade them. And the good thing about it is that it has rubrics already. So you can actually add a rubric, a grading rubric, and based on that rubric, i-click mo na lang based on the outstanding ba, poor ba, developing ba, and then it will already automatically add it up for you, and you can already have your solution. So hindi mo na siya, literally you're not checking it, you are just clicking, and you're able to send it back to the student. So imagine the speed of feedback that your students receive. If you are able to give it back to them as soon as they are able to send it to you. So you will be notified if students are able to submit assignments, and then you're also able to remind them using feedback. No? You can add more than one resource. So say, for example, if you want to have a PowerPoint presentation, a Microsoft Word, or an Excel placed there, and then you can actually work on different Microsoft Office 365 documents that you will assign to your students. And then you can also, you can also do timelines and assignment due dates. Sa amin naman, we're very lenient in terms of assignments. Basta lang mag-submit. So we will be reminding them time and time again that they need to submit these assignments. And then, of course, you have to view, you can actually view the grades. So ready na kayong mag-prepare ng report ninyo at the end of the quarter. Gusto-gusto yan ng mga registrar, yung nakakasubmit agad yung mga teachers ng grades. So we are able to do that because we have Microsoft Teams, and there's a grade feature on it. No? So you can actually, malalaman mo kung sino lang yung tumingin sa assignment, sino yung nag-turn in, sino yung blank, walang action, no? Deadma. So, pwede kang mag-provide ng feedback na you need to submit these assignments. And then you can start grading. Yan. Ito yung magandang part because you can already put points or you can already add a rubric there. So if you notice, if you notice on this side, you have the name of the student. Ang ibig sabihin nito na you're able to return already the project, no? And then you can write a feedback, and then there's the score. You have 38 over 50. So based yan sa rubric na binigay mo. Hindi naman yan arbitrary yung 38, di ba? So out of 50, ano yung mga parts ng rubric? So i-click mo lang yon. So if outstanding siya at this area, or developing siya in this area, or poor siya on this area, you can do that with Microsoft Teams. Class notebooks, for those who are familiar with class notebooks in Teams, you can also add your class notebooks. You can make your students have, especially with our science and our math classes, gusto-gusto ng mga math teachers yung class notebook kasi they can ask their students to write down, no, or compose their formulas, their solutions using class notebook. So I guess that's it on my part, and later on we still have Dave, and we still have time for Dave to introduce some of the other parts also for the students, and later on we will have a demo for everyone. So I hope you guys learned about our journey with Microsoft Teams and some of the great features of Microsoft Teams using the Quick Startup Guide. Okay. So, Shooter Madge and Shooter Ariel?
Yes, Sir Nitz, wow, talagang grabe, ano? Ang daming naging ways no na nagamit po ninyo ang Microsoft Teams sa inyong institution. So it's a great to know na yung mga best practices po ninyo ay na-share niyo po sa ating mga teachers. And not only sa ating mga teachers, of course yung mga nakikinig din natin mga parents na pwede pala at may mga ganong mga features ang Microsoft Teams. Alright, so pasok natin si Miss Grace. Hi Miss Grace. Ayan, so again,
Hello.
Maraming salamat po Sir Nitz. Mamaya, nandito pa po kayo ha. Huwag po kayong bibitaw.
Yan.
Sige, thank you Sir Nitz. Ayan.
Yun.
Miss Grace. Wow,
So
so again,
before tayo mag-announce, pag-usapan muna natin yung mga features ni Sir Nitz, no? Kasi sabi mo nga, Sir Madge, yun nga, marami talagang features ang Teams. And sometimes, no, yun nga, if we bring down technology like this sa teachers at learners natin, minsan, it can be overwhelming, no? Kasi parang ang dami, may assignments, may rubrics, pwede palang mag-upload ng ganito at ganyan, di ba? Pero yun nga, just like ng kinuwento ni Sir Nitz, no, their journey actually sa pag-implement ito school-wide was not something that they did overnight. And yun po yung panawagan po natin sa mga teachers and learners today na something like this might be overwhelming, lalo na pag first time nyo siya nakita. Pero yun, with the right resources, the right trainings, like attending today's session, at syempre, practice po talaga yan at talagang gagawin nyo talaga, i-implement nyo, then you will definitely get the hang of it. And you won't always get it perfect in the first try. Sabi nga ni Sir Nitz, parang marami silang in-adjust, diba? At marami silang tinry at tines. May iba hindi nag-workout, iba nag-workout. So, yun, try nyo lang. And again, readily available naman tong tool na to at napakarami po nating trainings at resources na pwede nyong i-reference kung sakaling kailangan nyo na extra help. So, yun.
Exactly. Yes, Sir Ariel and Miss Grace. So, bago tayo mag-proceed sa ating susunod na resource speaker, Miss Grace, you have any announcement to make?
Yes, okay. Tamang-tama. So, meron akong gustong i-share at i-invite, gusto kong i-invite lahat ng nanonood nating educators, both teaching and non-teaching, dahil si Microsoft po ay for the first time ever, we are actually opening our biggest educator and school leader event to the public. So this is called the Microsoft Education Exchange or tinatawag na E2. Okay, so nakwento nga kanina ng ni Sir Ariel at ni Sir Madge nung in-introduce nila si Sir Nitz at saka si Sir Dave, no, na nag-represent nga po si Sir Nitz before sa actual E2 sa Singapore. So previously kasi yung education exchange was actually held in different parts of the world wherein we gather the most innovative educators and school leaders, you know, to gather together, share their best practices. Si Sir Dave was also actually selected to be part of the E2 sa Australia. Kaso yun nga po nangyari yung COVID, kaya yung E2 po ay hindi na po naituloy ng physical. So ngayon, Microsoft decided to make it big. And so, we invite all of you, lahat po ng teachers, principals, division personnel, open na po ang RSVP ng Education Exchange. So, you can go to e2.eventcore.com and simply register with your Microsoft or Office 365 account. So, what's nice about this event is that it's actually customized. So, for example, register kayo as a principal, pwede kayong pumili ng tracks na relevant sa inyong role. Pag nag-register naman kayo as a teacher, definitely may mga tracks doon na specific for teaching and learning. So, please share the word. This is 100% free and fun event. So, this is our biggest and parang pinaka masayang event sa Microsoft at inaabangan po talaga to yearly. So, sana po makapag-register kayo. Okay?
Wow, so excited tayo dyan, Sir Ariel, no, Miss Grace, and we hope na everybody, lahat tayo ay mag-join ito sa once in a lifetime, once a year lang ito na event ng Microsoft.
Yes. Talagang excited ang mga teachers natin dito sa event na to. At yun lang, ngayon hindi na selective ang mangyayari, no? Lahat ay pwedeng umattend dito sa event natin na ito. And then ang maganda pa doon, sabi nga ni Ma'am Grace, kung ikaw ay teacher, kung ikaw ay principal, you can choose the track na talagang kung ano ipa-priority mo or ipa-prioritize mo. So, thank you for that good news, Miss Grace.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yun muna yung announcement ko, mamaya na yung isa pa.
Alright, so maraming salamat, Miss Grace. Before tayo mag-proceed, again, shout out sa ating mga Microsoft Education Ambassadors na kasama natin sa mga comment section na nagre-respond sa mga inquiries or queries ng ating mga online participants. Sa mga may questions po regarding their office or anything about Microsoft, type in sa ating comment box at marami po tayong mayas na available to answer your questions. Thank you po.
Hello, ambassadors!
Ayan, so Sir Ariel, let's welcome na ang ating next part po ng ating session, which is the demo part. And yan, napakilala natin ang ating next speaker. Papasukin na natin, Sir Dave.
Hi, yes. Good morning. Good morning sa lahat.
Good morning, Sir Dave. Kamusta po?
Sir Dave.
Okay naman. Thank you for having me.
Ito na, mas makaka-relate na tayo ngayon dito sa demonstration na to. At ang magsasalita is coming from DepEd mismo. So talagang excited tayo dito. Go ahead, Sir Dave.
Take it away,
Yes,
Sir
thank
Dave.
you so much. Yes, thank you so much, Sir Ariel, Sir Madge, and Miss Grace. No, so yun nga. Thank you for really inviting me in this event, no? And it's good to be with all our teachers and sa mga nanonood din sa kanilang mga cell phones, mga laptops, tablets, and also to the students na nanonood din sa kanilang yun nga, mga sari-sariling mga devices, no? So yung part ko naman po is I'm going to talk about the student view, no? So kanina nga na mention ni Sir Nitz kung paano i-set up yung Microsoft Teams tsaka paano gamitin yung Microsoft Teams for the teachers. So I think it was very well explained and it was very detailed na kung ano yung mga pwedeng gawin ng Microsoft Teams, and it's really just easy to set things up, no? So this time around, I'm going to share with you how it's going to work for the student side. No, it's very important na yung mga teachers natin and even our students, no, they know how the student side of Microsoft Teams work para hindi sila manibago. And I know that right now sa DepEd, we are, majority of us are actually focused on the modules, no? Parang kakaunti lang yata ang nag-online distance learning. So I think this is an opportunity then na parang we can also explore if your school is planning to implement online distance learning, because you have seen na during your assessment, no, of your students, may mga students pala na who wanted to opt in for online distance learning, or di kaya you've also seen na your students have the capability to do online distance learning. So I guess this is really a great platform for you to explore. And kagaya nga ng sabi ni Sir Nitz kanina, it's really just easy to set things up. Marami kayong pwedeng gawin. And as a teacher, no, personally, because I've also tried it before when I was still in the private school, it's really parang stress-free to implement classes compared to really checking manually yung ating mga modules. Kasi you can do automation, yung checking of assignments, communication part, it's all there in Microsoft Teams. And same goes with our students, diba? For students, they don't need to bring in another device or bring in another application, because everything is just all there, no? So sidetrack lang po, for those who do not know me, my name nga is Dave. Full name ko po is Michael Dave Tan, and I'm currently connected with the division of Cagayan de Oro as a project development officer for youth formation. So under ko po yung youth formation program sa division, and we currently do implement youth formation activities and also learning and development activities on the side for the teachers. And before I entered DepEd, I was part of Xavier with Sir Nitz, Xavier Ateneo Junior High School and Basic Ed Unit, as the instructional technology specialist or yung edtech specialist nila in their unit. So medyo yung experience ko talaga is really yung mga na-share kanina ni Sir Nitz na pag-implement during the summer school, nagka-pandemic, tapos hindi alam kung anong gagawin. We only had these tools available, no? So we had to innovate using Microsoft Teams. Yun po, naranasan ko po yun lahat, no? So I would really have to resonate with all our teachers ngayon na nasa DepEd or yung mga schools who are still starting out and exploring online distance learning. Saludo po ako sa inyo kasi hindi talaga siya ganun ka-easy, no? But of course, with the help of these tools, nagiging fast-paced naman, and so far, so good yung implementation. So, yun nga, so much more about me, no? When we started out with, online distance learning in Xavier back then, no? This was actually featured in Rise Pilipinas. It's actually an online event by Microsoft for all our Filipino educators. I'm not so sure if you have joined this one, but it's actually streamed online. So we were actually featured way back then. Bago lang kami nag-start. And then I think in other schools, hindi pa rin nila masyadong na-establish yung kanilang online distance learning. So we were just really fortunate enough that when we started online distance learning, we journeyed with Microsoft during that time. No, so Microsoft was just really very helpful for us, and with our journey. Pag may kailangan kami or when we have questions, they were really in full support. And so that's actually the beauty then ng Microsoft Teams, kasi support is provided, no, by the Microsoft team talaga here in the Philippines. So ito nga yung ating mga pwedeng gawin in Microsoft Teams, just to share with you some, no. So aside from those na na-mention ni Sir Nitz kanina, so it's really used for remote learning. So for online distance learning, perfect po talaga na tool yung Microsoft Teams. Now, we can have here a secure online classroom. So hindi po tayo masyadong mag-worry in terms of data privacy. If that's a main concern nyo po sa school nyo or when you want to implement it, it's not really that of an issue in Microsoft Teams. We can also keep our remote students engaged. Mamaya, i-share ko po kung paano yung other ideas po na pwede nating ma-engage ang ating mga students while in the platform. And ano-ano pa ba yung mga other activities which are student-led, kasi I'm also a youth formator, no, kung anong pwede nilang gawin out of this platform. Then we have on-demand webinars for asynchronous learning, and then of course facilitate distance learning for our teachers and students. Gaya nga ng sabi din kanina ni Sir Nitz, Microsoft Teams was used for faculty retooling, and not just that, our students way back then, no, when we established this one in Xavier, the students were really very participative and appreciative of this platform. That in fact, sila na mismo yung nag-advocate and sila na mismo yung yung tumutulong ng kanilang other kapwa na students on how to navigate the platform, kasi yung ibang students hindi masyadong kabisado kung ano yung ginagawa, di ba? Or paano gamitin yung tool or yung platform. So they were actually the ones advocating kung paano gawin yung tool, paano siya gamitin. And it was really very seamless. It was really very helpful. Now, in terms naman of deployment of Microsoft student accounts, what we did back then is that we actually, just to give you an idea then, kasi this can actually be implemented on your respective schools, no? Kasama na siya sa online enrollment, there's account verification, and Microsoft login details were sent to parents' emails. But in the case of DepEd kasi, I think yung ating mga teacher accounts are actually being given by our division ITO or regional ITO, IT officers. And then for student accounts naman, if you have concerns about them, we course it through our school ICT coordinators. So yun po ha. So deployment po of Microsoft student accounts, especially for the students na or mga parents na nagtatanong, saan po ba natin makukuha yung mga Microsoft student accounts para we can get started with online learning? So yung ating student accounts po, we get it through our ICT coordinators ng ating school. While for teachers naman po, we can course it through our division IT officer or yung ating regional IT officer. So yun po. So For private schools naman, na mga nanonood ngayon, no, so you can actually come up with your own, you can devise your own plan of deployment of the Microsoft accounts if you are interested in doing so. So yun po, no? And again, ito nga po yung mga na-feature namin when we were invited to speak sa Rise Pilipinas sa Microsoft. So, yeah, yun po, no? Mamaya ide-demo pa namin ang more of the functionalities of the platform. But this time, let me share with you naman yung quick starter guide for students. Kanina nga na-share ni Sir Nitz kung paano i-navigate ang Microsoft Teams for the teacher level. Actually, pare-pareho lang naman siya. But this time, it's more on focused sa student side. No? So let me just share very quickly yung presentation ko po. Ayan. So this time nga, it's going to be Microsoft Teams for Education Quick Start Guide for Students. So marami nga tayong pwedeng gawin, no, in terms of using this application for the student side. So to get started, same lang naman yung process kanina na in-introduce ni Sir Nitz. You need to have a Microsoft account, and then you just need to log in on office.com. And then sa office.com, makikita niyo po doon yung Teams kasi automatic yun. No, I think the only problem here na nakikita ko is, which I can foresee, is that also based on experience, is yung pag-reset ng password. So I think kadalasan talaga, yun talaga yung mahirap. No? So especially pag we have our learners given accounts, yung tendency is nakakalimutan nila yung kanilang mga password. So siguro as an advice, no, we can ask them to write their password down, or di kaya they have a the ICT coordinator can give contact details to the learners or to the parents para if ever in case there's a need for password reset, madali lang nilang makontact yung ICT coordinator. And then everything can be reset in an instant. No? So it's really important na meron po tayo when we want to implement this one in our schools. There's really tech support being provided, not just in terms of IT infrastructure, but also po sa ating human resources. So importante na meron tayong ICT coordinator or someone who is technical enough to do this stuff on the back end, para naman seamless yung ating pag-implement ng ODL or online distance learning. So once you are already in the platform for the students, no, you can get organized. There are still channels available, kagaya ng na-explain kanina ni Sir Nitz. So as students, ito po yung nakikita nyo, ito po yung parang dashboard nyo po na makikita nyo po yung ating mga different subjects. So by default po, as a student, your teacher, yung guro nyo po, yung teacher nyo po, ay magsisend ng invitation invite sa inyo, or di kaya if it's already preloaded, once pagbukas ng learner ng Microsoft Teams, kita na agad yung mga different teams and channels. And then yung sa mga teams and channels, depende po yun kung paano po sinet up yun ng teacher. But like for this instance po, nakikita nyo po ng isang team ay one subject. And then sa isang subject, may different topics. Pwede nyo pong iset up yun ng ganun for teachers. So in the student side naman, ito yung makikita nila. It's actually organized. Nakikita nila kung yung mga different topics, kung alin yung mga sasagutan, alin yung mga topics na kailangan nilang basahin. So it's really organized under channels. And then in the channels then, you can do some posts, you can add and post announcements, or if for the learner, they wanted to reach out or to respond on a particular post by the teacher or by their fellow students, they can also do so. No? So pwede rin po yung ganun. And then they can also post files. Pag may gusto silang i-share ng mga files sa kanilang mga co-learners, or they wanted to share something to the class, to the online class, they can also do that sa channels. And what's also good dito po sa Microsoft Teams is that there's a notification. So yung students po, kasi ito honest to goodness, may mga instances talaga na ating mga learners medyo makakalimutin, no? So it's good that we have notification bar dito sa Microsoft Teams so that they will be updated and notified if ever someone comments on a post or when a teacher posts an assignment. So similar po sa other social networking sites, 'di ba? Meron ding notification icon there wherein you will get to be notified kung ano yung mga updates, ano yung mga latest happenings. So same din po sa Microsoft Teams, and that's one feature which I really like. And you may also tag or mention a co-teacher, a co-student, or a student, no, if you're the teacher, and then they will be automatically notified sa application. So whether you're using your desktop, computer, laptop, tablet, or even mobile phones, nano-notify po silang lahat. So yung ibang students nga, they just opt to use their mobile phones for online distance learning. And that's the beauty of using Microsoft Teams, kasi hindi mo na kailangang bumili pa ng laptop, or you don't have to parang bumili pa ng bigger screen, kasi if you just have your mobile phone and it's connected to the internet, you have the application, you can definitely start with online distance learning. And you will be notified kaagad sa mga different activities which your teachers have posted online, or even your fellow students. Now let's go to the communication part, no? How to create and respond to messages in Teams. So simple lang naman, you can still do the post, no? You can compose compose a message using the compose box, and then there it's actually fun, no? I know that students are fond of using GIFs, stickers, or even emojis. That's actually possible in Microsoft Teams. So wag nating i-limit yung ating mga students in their creativity. So if you want to come up with a very safe and fun environment for students, there are actually stickers, GIFs, yung mga gumagalaw na mga stickers and mga posts or videos those can actually be posted in Microsoft Teams. So ang saya lang, 'di ba, to see a platform which is wherein you can actually learn, and at the same time you can post memes, stickers, and just be very creative with your posting, and it actually keeps the excitement of our students. No? So yun yung kinagandahan din dito sa platform na to. No, you can also do the formatting, you can mention your teacher or a classmate, and then what I also like about this platform is that you can also chat. So no need for you to log into another social networking application para lang makapag-group chat or chat with your fellow students or chat with your teacher if ever may mga tanong kayo, or if ever yung teacher wanted to follow up on a certain student, andyan na lahat. No? So you can, in just one click, one search away, you can then message yung student or yung teacher dito po sa Microsoft Teams. So that's also one thing which I like. You don't need to open another application. And aside from that, you can also connect with video. So hindi lang siya parang messaging. I think this was mentioned last time, no, na parang it's not really just more of a messaging communication tool, but yeah, it helps din naman kasi right now when we do online distance learning, it really involves a lot of collaboration, not just with teachers, but also with students. So if ever there are group activities, students may not anymore log into another video conferencing na application because it's all there. Andyan na sa website or andyan na po sa application mismo. So you can connect with video, and then if you want to also organize your schedule nyo yung mga different video conferences nyo or video chats nyo or video meetings, you may also do so using the calendar. So yan, medyo actually it's really nice no na organize lahat, and then your files are secure, chatting is there, and even video conferencing is also there. So yun, ano pang 'di ba? Lilipat pa ba kayo ng ibang platform na it's all there in Microsoft Teams. It's really very convenient. And you can also answer a call when your teacher or classmate calls you in Teams. You'll get enough notification, and then you can also decide how to answer. So for learners who are not camera shy, or those who are camera shy, or for those naman they have mobile devices pero they have their cameras are not really working that well, so they can opt to just do the voice call instead. So they are given the option when we do calls in Microsoft Teams. So ito yung how to use the toolbar during the meeting. So in a meeting then there you can share documents, you can do the chat. I'm sure most of you know, for the teachers, I'm sure you have already experienced using a video conferencing application. So medyo familiar kayo sa mga tools na to, itong mga buttons na to. So it's just really very similar. And for the students naman, it's really very user-friendly and self-explanatory. To be honest nga, in fact, I think ang ating mga learners these days, mas techy pa sila compared sa ating mga teachers. When we started, just to give a segue, when we started the distance learning way back then, hindi yung students yung nagiging anxious, but yung ating mga teachers. But don't worry, don't fret. That's really very normal. But once you get to try it out, itong Microsoft Teams, promise, pagkatapos ng few tries, magbabago yung life nyo. Hindi na kayo nag-check ng mga modules. Diretso na kayong nakatutok na lang sa phone or sa laptop nyo, and then you just get to see, okay, nag-grade na pala automatically. So that's the convenience of it. That's really the beauty of using online software. It's going to be automated and very hassle-free. Then, yes, eto nga, you can also share and organize files. So you can do this one if ever a teacher wishes you to submit files or upload certain documents. You can actually organize your files, and you may also collaborate these files with your fellow students if ever may mga group works, so possible po siya dun. And then you can also attach those files as a message or as a reply, and then it's automatically directed to the file tab, which later on we'll try to also demonstrate that one during our demonstration with the Cernits later. So you can choose a file you'd like to share, and then you just simply have to press send para ma-share po siya yung ating mga files sa lahat ng ating mga recipients which we would want the file to be received. So it's really very convenient. And then when finding or creating a file, meron po tayong file tab sa Microsoft Teams wherein you can actually view and download or even upload new files, copy link, or even share these files with fellow students or fellow teachers, or share a certain file. For example, if yung learner natin nagsabi na, ma'am or sir, hindi ko po nakita yung file. Saan po ba naka-upload? You can just simply copy the link and then share it with the learner. So ganun po ka-easy lang yung sharing and organizing of files dito po sa Microsoft Teams. And then you can also upload your class materials, have them organized by folder, by subject, by lesson, by topic, by module. And if ever nga po, if you have certain online activities or modules which are in soft copies, or yung mga activity sheets which are in soft copies, you can also upload that in the Files tab para downloadin na lang ng student, and then they can answer at home, or if they have a printer, or they can also just answer it right away on the document which you've shared. No? So, ganun po ka-easy lang yung ating sharing of materials and uploading of class materials. And ito, pinaka-importante kasi we've been hearing a lot of mga concerns kasi nga majority nga ngayon is working on the modules, no? Yun kasi talaga yung parating concern ngayon ng ating mga teachers na nasa field, no, na they are doing a lot of checking, nagre-retrieve pa sila ng mga modules, house-to-house visits, and then they also need to talk with parents. Tapos, of course, they are put into, yung iba, baka they are anxious na they might be put into risk kasi they're doing, although limited naman, pero may mga interactions na face-to-face, na limited, no, with the parents for consultations, or they have to also do kasi yun talaga yung concern ngayon, no? Mahaba yung process sa modular sa mga modules, no, from the distribution, from the disinfection, minsan may mga UV na mga pinapasok pa yung mga modules sa mga UV boxes, and then from the checking to the retrieval to giving out of the results, mahaba talaga yung process. And on the side pa, yung ating mga teachers, they also have to grade and record the assignments. But with this one, if you are opting for online distance learning, no, it's all those processes po na na-mention ko kanina, it will be reduced, and it's really going to put less of a hassle on the part of the teacher and school administrator. Pero yun nga rin, there are also other factors involved. Kasi we also have to monitor the students kasi whether they will be passing it online, no? So anyway, I'll just share with you kung paano sinasabit yung assignments, especially on the student level. Kanina na-share na ni Sir Nitz yung how we can post assignments, assignment tab as a teacher. This time around, how do students view and turn in assignments, no? So ito po yung nakikita ng students. They would see this assignment tab on their Teams on a particular channel. Usually sa general channel po yan nakikita, and then on the assignment tab po makikita po ni student yung lahat ng kaniyang mga assignments and the due date and its respective due date, no? So nakikita po ni student dyan kung ano po yung mga assignments niya, ano po yung mga kailangan niya pang isubmit, or what deliverables have the student, yung mga nagawa na ng mga student, no? So nakita din nila yung kanilang mga progress. So to view and turn in the assignments, the student just needs to head to the class team at the general channel and select the assignment tab, and then to view the assignment details and turn in work, select the assignment, and then if ever yung teacher requires a submission of a particular document on that assignment or classwork, simply just click on the plus icon, add work, upload the file, make sure that it's an accomplished file, and then click on turn in. So imagine 4 easy steps, and then once na turn in na po yun ng ating learner, makikita na agad ni teacher yung submitted work. So, no need for you to mag-antay ng ilang days to retrieve the modules, yung mga answers, and to check, no, and to have it disinfected, or ilagay niyo pa sa UV box yung mga papers, kasi it's all submitted online and it's going to be submitted in real time with just 4 easy steps for students. So, yan. And what I also like about this one is that it's very learner-friendly. Every time a student turns in an assignment, may notification na congratulations, and it's really festive, and it encourages students to submit more assignments, no, submit their work on time. kasi magpa-flash or magno-notify yung Microsoft Teams ng very animated na notification saying congratulations for turning in. So I think that excites the students coming from the feedback of those who have already tried this platform. No, yung mga students talaga mas eager na mag-post or mag-turn in ng assignments because they wanted to see yung animated na notification. So that's really very nice, no, for the student view. And aside from that, yung ating mga learners din po, they can actually see their grades real time. So to see the grades for assignment your teacher has reviewed and sent back to you, nakikita yan agad-agad. So select the grades tab in the general channel, same process din po. Then all your assignments will be listed there. View your status on each assignment as well as points given you you've received on the graded work. So nakikita po agad-agad ni student kung ilang points na po yung natanggap niya, or if ever the student has to resubmit their work, kasi nakikita din ni student or ni learner yung feedback coming from their teacher. So that's also real time. As soon as the teacher posts the grades or enters the grades, agad-agad yun nakikita ni student. So that's the beauty of online distance learning, or that's the beauty in general with using this platform, yung Microsoft Teams nga. And on the side naman sa teacher, you can also get to see if the student has seen the assignment, kasi it happened though way back then as experience. May mga student na they have already viewed the assignment. Nagno-notify din yan sa teachers and they have already seen kasi may seen na status. So hindi lang po sa mga messages nakikita natin na siniseen zone tayo ng ating mga learners or ng ating mga students, but you can also check if the student has seen zoned yung assignment natin. So there's no escape talaga or no excuse for learners to say na hindi ko nakita, hindi naman nag-notify, or hindi ko nakita na may na-post ka pala sir, kasi nag-notify, or there's actually a mechanism or a way for Microsoft Teams to tell the teacher na na-scene zone na or na-open na ni student yung assignment na na-post nyo, but that student or learner did not submit anything at all. So that's also one great feature na nagustuhan ko sa Microsoft Teams. Okay, ito naman, other add-ons naman. There's also class notebook in Microsoft Teams. You might want to explore that one. If you've heard of OneNote, OneNote is already integrated into Microsoft Teams, no? And if you just want to explore this one, you may also opt to do so. And there are also other resources which can help you out in using Microsoft Teams, no? So gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, what I really like about using Microsoft Teams is that there's full support. No, resources are online if ever may mga tanong kayo, or if ever you need to troubleshoot something, for ICT coordinators, IT officers, teachers, students. There are a lot of available resources online which can help you, and there's also a growing community of Microsoft Innovative Educator experts and Microsoft Innovative Educator fellows who can help us with our concerns in using the platform. So yun talaga yung gusto ko dito with Microsoft Teams. So if you're really planning to use this tool for your online distance learning, yung ODL nyo po sa school ninyo, so it's really going to be a community is really going to be involved. You're not alone in the process, and for students naman, you will actually get a lot of help and support then, because if you go online, you can see a lot of resources then for students, no? And it's really very child friendly and napaka easy to use yung platform po na ito. So yun po, I think that's how we can actually maximize, no, yung ating mga activities as a student for Microsoft Teams, no? And aside from that, let me also share with you some other activities which we can actually do using the platform. Kasi I am sure right now, especially sa mga students po na nanonood in this webinar, no, you might be wondering, or you might have it might have crossed your mind kung ano-ano yung mga pwedeng gawin ng ating mga students, not just in the context of learning with the teachers, no, or attending classes in Microsoft Teams. Ano-ano pa ba yung mga pwede natin gawin? No, what other school activities can we do in Microsoft Teams? So siguro yung mas-suggest ko po is that we can also make use of this platform if we have clubs or student organizations. Kagaya nga po, I think meron po tayong mga SPG, SSG, no, or we also have career guidance programs na nasa school. We can actually make use of that also for telecounseling. Kanina nga na-mention ni Sir Nitz na may mga programs po na mga online programs po yung guidance office that they can actually introduce when using the platform. Pwede silang magpa sound therapy, online yoga classes, and for students naman, they can also still work on their advocacies with their fellow students online in Microsoft Teams. They can post their thoughts, reactions, or they can conduct their advocacies even online, or even webinars online in a very safe environment. Although yung iba nga po, when we do the school monitoring, yung iba, they are doing, the other student programs are being implemented through Facebook or through other channels or through other social networking sites, no, which are too many to mention. So that's actually good na initiative, but if we want to have it all secured na platform, kasi we don't want our students then to be put at risk, yung kanilang information, yung kanilang data or privacy, especially if you're working with younger pupils na nasa elementary. So what we can suggest is that we can make use of this tool, online distance learning tool, or yung Microsoft Teams nga, to conduct our activities there para we can make it more safe, secure, and then even if we post something, yung data po or yung privacy po ng ating mga learners will not be compromised and will not be put into the public, no? Kasi although naman yung mga streaming services natin ngayon, which are all in public, are also very good and helpful in implementing programs, but kasi if we're working with minors or with learners, we have to be also sensitive with their privacy and with their data, because we don't want anything of that to be compromised. So yun, so you can work on your SPG, SSG, yung guidance program nyo po, and then you can also do your extracurricular activities or co-curricular activities in Microsoft Teams. Perhaps if you have a club, organization, which you want to form online, although yung iba may mga group chats naman, but if you really want to mobilize it through online distance learning, then Microsoft Teams is actually a good platform to conduct all those activities. So kanina, I just introduced some of the basics. I don't want to overwhelm all the students and even our teachers then as to how you can navigate through Microsoft Teams. So yun nga, yung mga basics lang yung in-introduce namin kanina ni Sir Nitz. But to tell you, actually, no, to tell you honestly, ang dami pang pwedeng ma-explore na mga features and capabilities ng Microsoft Teams which we can actually embed na hindi namin shinare kanina. So it's really up to you kung paano nyo siya i-explore, kung ano pang pwede nyong gawin sa Microsoft Teams. Creativity is just limitless when using the platform. And same goes with the students as well. I'm sure may mga ibang mga features pa kayong ma-explore. And yung sa experience ko nga, when we started implementing this platform, yung Microsoft Teams nga sa school, they really thought na ako yung parang alam na alam ko kung paano gawin or paano i-navigate lahat ng mga features sa application. But eventually, as the teachers and learners have adapted to the platform, may mga ibang mga features na hindi ko alam, or nagugulat na lang ako na they would say na, ano, may ganito na feature, or Sir Dave, may ganito palang mga functions yung Microsoft Teams mas better compared sa tinuro nyo, which I really find it amazing that the teachers and even students who are using this platform are really contributing, with the knowledge and ideas, as to how we can improve the process of online distance learning, and kung paano pa natin pwedeng ma-innovate yung ating existing na system. So yun po. So I think more of the demonstration will be given with me and Sir Nitz. So yun po. Sir Nitz, are you still there? Magde-demo na ba tayo?
Yeah, I think we can.
By the way, yes, sir.
Later. Yes, Dave, you were saying something?
Yeah, if ever po may mga questions din po kayo, you can also message that through Facebook or dun po sa comment section. We will try to address that later during the Q&A. Yun lang naman. So I think right now, Sir Nitz, will do the demo, para it's just really a quick demo. Hindi naman siya yung totally na super detailed, kasi we wanted you guys to just have a brief run through lang kung how the system works, and para hindi rin kayo ma-overwhelmed. Basta just make sure if you are interested in doing in implementing this one, try to coordinate with your ICT coordinators and your ITOs. Sir Nitz?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Sir Dave. And just like what Sir Dave has said, we're using Microsoft Teams because it's simple, it's safe, and it's also, what as mentioned was David, it's really secure, and we are able to keep our students and the organization together. No, hindi siya kalat yung organization in terms of how we conduct the entire learning management system. Yun. And then, of course, while we're preparing for I think we're ready to share the window. Right now, let's just wait for it to appear. There you go. Okay, so we also have provided, I think we can also ask Tutor Madge and Tutor Ariel to send the link to our participants or our viewers right now. They can have their own way of doing the demo. They can do it on their own for those who'd like to do their own hands-on activity while we actually do it here in our streamed video. So I think they will be sharing the link to our participants and to our viewers, and you can just click on the link. And for this time, we will be just choosing na lang siguro muna yung sa Teachers Day, di ba?
Yes, Sir Nitz.
We'll just start this tour. I think you can see this. Let me just work on a full screen. Yeah. So this is a link from Microsoft, and for you to be able to get a first-hand experience and training with Microsoft education tools. So these are demos for teachers, and these are also demos that you can use if you are parents, guardians, or students. So we will start the tour here. Ayan. So okay. So if you have your Microsoft Office 365 or office.com account, right, Sir Dave? I think they have different levels, right? And so we actually have like A3s or A1s, but in DepEd, you have your, they actually, I think Dave is the best person to explain the accounts for my Office 365.
Yes, yung mga accounts po ng for DepEd teachers po and for also students, yun nga, you can access that one through your school. For students and learners, you can access that through your school ICT coordinator, and then yung for teachers naman, you can have that from your division ITO or yung regional ITO nyo po. As for the licenses, it's all free. No, so you can actually make use of the free tools, not just Microsoft Teams, but also you can use that account to download licensed Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and all other Microsoft applications. So yun po.
Yes. So once you have this, ito po yung demo natin. So we have Kara. So si Teacher Kara po, let's imagine na tayo po ay teacher. And then we're going to explore how to use Microsoft Teams to collaborate and to empower our students. So we are now already in the office.com. So you need to sign in with your school email and your password. So just click on sign in with office.com. And so with that, you already see all the applications that are available. You can launch all of these independently. So of course, we have Outlook, we have OneDrive, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote. So all of these are now online. So if you save these files, you can actually take them anywhere, or you can actually work with them anywhere if you open your account in another computer or another laptop or another smartphone. So let's click on Teams because this is what we are going to work on. So let's click on Teams. So for those who have their links, you can do it on your own. I'm sure may mga fast learners, may mga mabibilis ang mga kamay in terms of clicking. Pwede po, you can do it in advance, or you can do it with us as we go along here in our walkthrough. So now we're clicking on Microsoft Teams, and educators can launch Teams in desktop version or from their mobile devices. So, di ba Sir Dave, pwede din nilang gawin to with their smartphones, right?
Yes, exactly, Sir Nitz. So it's mobile friendly, and compatibility is not an issue. So whether you're using your mobile phone, tablet, laptop, or desktop, gumagana po yung Microsoft Teams.
Okay. So now let's click on the web app. So pwede din siya sa web app, but on our end, sa mga teachers, usually desktop talaga tayo or laptop, no? So we use our apps there. So these are all the teams that Kara is a member of, including her class team. So every tile that you see is actually a team. So meron, yan na po yung classroom ninyo, yung virtual classroom na pwede ninyong gamitin, no? So you can actually select, okay, the physical science card. Okay, so this is already your team, so you can click on that. And this is how it looks. So if you notice, it has this look and feel of social media, right, Sir Dave?
Yes, yes. It's very familiar. Yung interface, but it's really very familiar.
Okay, so here you have the class team. It's a hub where educators, students, content, and conversations come together. Yeah, so we can also, every team has a post tab in the general channel. So in the post tab, students will see announcements from their teachers. So meron na itong mga tinatawag nating announcements, and you can scroll the bar here on the right, no? So it's just like what you have in social media. You can see your other classmates participating, replying, giving their comments, and they can also, your teachers can also post your assignments in the general. You can actually see what needs to be done. Yun yung importante, ang assignments, di ba? Aside from that, your students can also look at their class meetings. So aside from the assignments, meron din they can actually check that they have class meetings. Uy, may meeting ka pala, or may class ka pala, synchronous class at 9 a.m. Ganon. Okay? So, you can also see that students can share their questions and post in the rest of the class with the benefit, that will benefit from discussion. And this is good for asynchronous learning, right, Sir Dave? So, even if if you're already done with the lesson, if there are students who still have questions, right, Sir Dave?
Yes, exactly, sir. So pwede silang mag-comment dyan. So if yung student may particular na tanong, or they just want to post their thoughts about that particular post or topic, so pwede po nilang i-leave that as a reply. And then what's great about it nga, in the student side, kasi yung ating mga students, they are really fond of color stickers, and with their generation today, they are more likely communicating with emojis. Possible din po yan. So they can leave emojis there to signify their emotions or reactions to that particular post.
Okay, so they can share their likes, their hearts, and yun nga, as what Dave has mentioned, it becomes very interesting because students are able to express themselves here in Microsoft Teams. So Teams also offers a complete meeting solution to help educators and students connect and learn in a remote learning environment. So you have the calendar here. So if you will click that, you will see that there are different meetings. So these are your meetings for synchronous learning. So meetings in Teams can include recordings, share screens, videos, and audio conferencing. So let's try, say, for example, if you want to create a new class, you want to create a meeting later this afternoon or for that matter. So you can click on that, and Teacher Kara can use Teams to schedule and join a class meeting for her entire class. It can be a small group of class. Kung gusto niyo, yung group 1 lang yung i-meet. Or you can also create a conference with families. So you can try to add a title. Okay, this is a new meeting, a class follow-up discussion. And then you can add a channel. Which class was it? So it's actually the physical science, right? So we click on physical science in the class room. And then you can go to the, and then select general. So that is where your meeting will appear. Okay, so click natin yan. So as soon as Teacher Kara clicks the send button, her meeting will be scheduled in her physical science class team. Pag sinend mo yan, all your students will be able to know that there will be a synchronous session that day. If you want to change it, if you want to edit it, lahat makakaalam na i-change mo pala yung schedule. Baka may emergency si teacher, di ba? Right, Sir Dave? Pwede mo yung i-change. And then everybody, you don't have to announce it na isasabi mo pa sa isang person or may message relay mo pa, because everybody, through the notification, will be able to inform any changes in the schedule that you will prepare. So you can have meeting options here. You can click on meeting options. So this is just some parts like who can present. So baka group ito, or usually it's the teacher who will present. So click on only me. Okay, so ikaw lang naman, kasi si teacher lang naman yung magre-present. You can save that and you're done. So you can close, select close again, and time to join the meeting. So ito yung sinasabi ni Sir Dave na very familiar. Most of video streaming features of other applications are the same, almost the same. So you just click on join now, and Teacher Kara can easily view who is already in attendance. So say for example, 9 o'clock or 9 o'clock yung meeting niyo, you can check now kung sino yung present na. So you can click on this, and there you go, you will see who are the attendees. Tapos, di ba, Sir Dave, pag may hindi pa dumadating, you can actually call them. Yun yung ginagamit ko, like, so 5 minutes before my time, bakit hindi wala pa si ganitong student A at saka si student B? So yung under sa suggestions, you can call them to the meeting. So para siyang kung sa smartphone pa, talagang magko-call siya na parang, huy, may meeting kayo or may klase kayo, di ba, Sir Dave?
Yes, magno-notify sa students side naman, magno-notify siya sa phone or sa desktop app na yung teacher niyo po ay inviting you or reminding you to join the class. And aside from that also, Sir, yes, yes.
Schedule mo, Sir Dave, ay 8 o'clock, gigising talaga yung student kasi.
Oo.
Hindi pa ako nakapagbihis or all of that, no? But really, yeah, that also gives you an idea that everybody should be at that time at that particular meeting. Kasi nami-meet kayo, di ba? That is about professional as you can get also from your students. Right, Sir Dave?
Yes, Sir Nitz. And also to add din, Sir Nitz, no? Kasi we also have earlier may feature doon na when you started the meeting, you can there's a setting there na you can actually just limit the video meeting to people in your organization, meaning yung may mga DepEd accounts or Microsoft accounts lang, or you can also invite other people outside your organization or outside the DepEd na domain to your meeting. So if you are planning to invite resource speakers or other teachers na walang account ng Microsoft, so pwede niyo po silang i-add sa video meeting niyo po. But of course, may mga limited na mga features na hindi nila pwede magamit because yun nga, they are people outside the organization, which makes it safe kasi they are not able to manipulate agad-agad kung anumang mga nandyan sa Microsoft Teams because they are outside nga sa kanila, outside of our DepEd na account. So they really need to log into their DepEd account or Microsoft account provided by DepEd para they can access all the great features dito po sa meeting conference natin.
Okay, yeah. So, pag, di ba, before when we want to invite parang mga guest speakers, di ba, we have to ask permission from our principal. So even here, you can actually invite them and through channels, they can be approved to be, depende na yun sa school ninyo, who you can ask permission to let in as parang, as what Dave has mentioned, na mga guest speakers, no, mga resource persons. Pwede yun. You can actually do that here with Microsoft Teams. And of course, recording the meeting is very helpful, especially if you have an synchronous class because once it is recorded, this can be what we call a video on demand. So you can have their students watch it again and again. Hindi kayo mapapaos kasi they can always watch it again and again. Pag gusto mong ipa-explain agad, watch mo na lang, balikan mo na lang yung video and i-explain ng teacher yon. So you can start the recording and it will tell you here that you are already recording. And what we do in our school is we have already reoriented our parents, our teachers, and our students about data privacy and netiquette. So dito talaga what do you call this, ma-apply yung ganon, no? So we always remind our students, it's part of our reminder slide deck that they should practice netiquette and that they should not take screenshots of anything that is happening in the class and of course not post it in social media. So nadidiscipline din ang mga bata on how to use social, like for example, learning LMS, no, management systems, or being in a class, in an online class. So in a way, it's they're able to catch that, no, because all our teachers every day, kahit anong sino teacher pa yan, from math to science to English, they all remind students of basic etiquette before the start of the class. So you can also do that in your own respective schools. So you can also share the use the share button if you want to, say for example, ganito talaga, di ba, pag si teacher, pag online class, prepared talaga with PowerPoint presentations or Microsoft. You can use the Microsoft Whiteboard. You can always prepare your PowerPoints before the start of your class, and then you can browse through them and then you can present it to them.
Yes, Sir Nitz. And to add also then, we can also add this feature or enable this feature for our students so that if ever may mga oral recitations or you want your student to present something on their end, they can also share from their device. So pwede rin po na yung student yung mag-share ng kanilang presentation, Word document, or PowerPoint.
Yeah. And sa amin din, we have a tech, di ba Dave, we have a tech beadle. So siya yung parang in charge, pwede siyang mag-facilitate ng Microsoft Teams. So pwede siyang mag-remind ng mga students. Siya yung parang, he or she can remind everybody of the time or how to manage the presentations that are available. Kasi pwede naman siyang, anong tawag doon, Dave, pwedeng may mag-overtake, no, na present on your behalf, parang ganun. So yung mga school officers namin are still working, no? Even online, yung president, yung but ewan ko na lang siguro kung treasurer pa ba, kung if nag-work ko. But really, they are able to do their work, no? Kasi they are also at our class middle at the end of the week, at the end of the session, siya yung magte-take ng attendance. So they are still empowered. They don't feel like they are just andun lang sila, passive lang sila. Active talaga yung mga bata. Like, sir, meron din magre-remind, like for example, yung kadalasan, like for example, may meeting ka, tapos, uy, may meeting na pala ako, like you have another meeting, and then you would have your student your beadle, no, who would remind you that, sir, are we starting after in 10 minutes time? Parang ganon. So, grabe talaga ang mga bata pag binigyan mo sila ng responsibility din online. So here, we have how you can end the call already. So you can just click that part. And I think Dave can explain here that you can, once it's already done, the meeting, it's already recorded and it's already saved, and students or anybody can access it using Microsoft Streams. It's readily available for everyone. Right, Sir Dave?
Yes. Once you end the call po, yung recording will also stop, and yung recording po will be posted as a reply dun po sa thread or yung sa post po mismo nyo, kung saan nyo po nilagay yung inyong meeting link. So, medyo when we started this one, a lot of people were asking, saan ba yung recording? Saan ba makikita yung recording? It's actually just posted as a reply dun sa same post kung saan nyo po in-access yung meeting conference. And aside from that, if you want to review the other file, or other videos, past recordings, you can also look at it sa Microsoft Stream, which you can access using office.com. So you just have to type on your browser office.com, then may icon po doon na Microsoft Stream, and then just click on that, and all your past recordings will be can actually be viewed there.
Yeah, so if what you have seen here is actually the link. This is already a link to the Microsoft Stream, and I think I would like to also emphasize, Sir Dave, right, that what's a good thing about Microsoft Stream is that it's only limited to your organization. So it's not like the ones that are readily available outside, where people can actually see the video, even the names of the students who are participating, no, even the conversations that we have, because all of these meetings are naka-capture yan ng meeting recording, right? So Streams is safe, it's secure, and it's only available in your own organization unless you share it, right? But technically, you can share it within your organization, and it's very convenient for your group. So here you can also support, as Teams also supports rich editing features, so educators can create conversations and announcements and then share them in multiple channels and teams. So you can format, no? It can be a conversation, or sa atin, we would usually do a announcement, no? So this time, Kara will keep the default new conversation setting, and Kara can also attach files. The teacher Kara can also attach files to her post, so it can be anything of the list of the files that you have in your Microsoft Teams. So you can also add emojis if you want. So if you want to send an emoji, or you can also send stickers. You can also send stickers. It has built-in stickers. And if you also want to do GIFs. But this is one of the best things that I also want to recommend, because this is what I frequently use, and this is what you call the praise icon. So if you click on the praise icon, you can actually send a praise badge to people. It can be for anything. No, it can be for being an achiever, for just being awesome, being a coach to someone, for somebody who's creative, kind heart, leadership, a problem solver, a team player, and a thank you note. No, you can post it here in the general channel. But what I usually do is, at the end of the day, in the chat feature of Microsoft Teams, I give them a badge. Some of them I give them a badge, and it really provides motivation for the students because it also helps them in their emotional learning, no? Especially in working in an online class. Hindi mo walang tap on the shoulder or walang affirmation that they give, and the praise badge is very significant. It does its work. You can give a thank you note, which I usually do at the end of the day, especially for those who really help, and for those who may mga iba na may question sila tapos hindi ko binibigay yung answer. Parang I just facilitate how they are able to work on it. And then later on, sasabihin nila, uy, they were able to solve it. So I give them that badge, which is the problem solver. Kasi sila lang din are able to discover, no? If you are just able to facilitate their learning, they will be able to solve their problems or their concerns. You also have the Files tab where Teacher Kara shares her lessons and other resources. So we can click on that, and anything that you can put here, I think, Sir Dave, right? Whether it's a PowerPoint, an Excel file, a PDF, a movie file, right, Sir Dave?
Yes, and update nga po yung mga recordings din po natin, automatically din na nalalagay na dito sa files. So aside from Microsoft Stream, aside from it being posted as a reply dun sa post natin, yung mga recordings din po for the latest update, it's also going to can be accessible dito po sa Files tab.
And you can also add a cloud storage, so it doesn't only limit itself to Microsoft's Office 365, no, OneDrive. There are other cloud storage applications that you can actually add using Microsoft Teams. So let's click on next. So let's go now. This is a class notebook. I think for those who are familiar with OneNote, this is really something that is amazing because students can write on their notes, or if you want, you can share handouts via class notes. Your modules can be placed here, and you can distribute them in just minutes, no? Or even in just minutes, you can send out your modules to your students for them to answer, and then they can hand it back to you na answered na lahat ng mga notes or handouts niyo. So you can
real time.
Yes, real time yun. This one has the collaboration spaces, and then what else? It has here also the content library. So the content library, ito yung mga hindi na kailangan i-edit, right, Sir Dave?
Yeah, yes, Sir Nits, exactly. So it's really similar. If you're really familiar with OneNote, you can actually make use of this one. It's already integrated in Teams.
Yeah. So ito yung mga ito yung content library. It is something that, for example, pag mga modules ng mga handouts niyo, pwede niyo ilagay sa content library kasi hindi na yun siya ma-edit ng students. Hindi siya maglalagay, hindi siya parang Wikipedia, no, na anybody can just add. So students can only look at these items. Okay, so if you notice, each student will only have this a notebook assigned to him or her, but as a teacher, you can actually see all of your notebooks of your students. Diba? So wala nang pass your notebooks. Kasi every time they answer, and then once they already are done, automatically you can actually see what they have written.
Yeah, so para po siyang virtual notebook. So yung nakikita po ng teacher's end is all the notebooks of their learners. Pero on the student side naman, they can only see their own notebooks. So hindi po issue yung parang makikita ni learner A, yung notebook ni learner B, because only the teacher has access to those notebooks. So individual pa rin yung work. Yes.
Wala nang virtual copying ngayon. So, hindi kasi they can actually work on their own, no? Individually and independently.
Yeah, and if that's a concern, pwede din namang time-bound yung activity na answering dito nga sa class notebook para maiwasan talaga yung if that's really a concern, no?
Yes.
Na ano sila.
From here, you can also use, you can actually draw, or you can also add your own lecture, no? Or if you want to talk, you can also do a lesson. You can also add it here, a reminder for them if you have instructions. So imagine, no, all of that in just one app. You can, and everything is integrated here, and it makes it more easier for you to, for your students to learn. So parang nawawala na yung technology because technically they're already looking at the content. No, the content is king here. This is your masterpiece. Kung gaano mo ginawa. Alam mo naman mga teachers, di ba, napaka-organized from homework 1, homework 2. Ganyan, no? Handout 1, handout 2. So it can be very organized in such a way where students can also learn, and of course technology will be at the background. So let's click on assignments, no? From here, ito yung mga assignments na na-mention din ni Sir Dave. Malalaman mo, it means here that yung 0 out of 25, ang meaning niyan, wala pang nag-turn in. Itong 25 out of 25, that means that everybody has turned in. So as a teacher, even at looking at your assignments, you would already know which of the assignments are they having a hard time with. So you can create, no? You can create an assignment here. You can write it down. You can write the title. You can add a category, which we actually use, and of course, instructions. You can also add resources here. But the best part, I believe, Sir Dave, and I think everybody will approve, is that you can actually add rubrics. So the good thing about this is that it's transparent. You'll be able to see, or your students will be able to see how they were actually graded. So this one, no, is Amazon Rainforest Doc, so we can click on that. So say, for example, you want them to edit that, or, you know, or submit their reflection or thoughts about that. And then here's the rubrics. You can create your own rubric. What we do is we do it only once, no? Pag ginawa mo na yung rubric once, you can do it, you can reuse it na din from for the entire school year or the next school year. So you can have this, say, for example, or you can create a new rubric, or you can also upload a new rubric if you want, and then there. So pwede siyang excellent, good, fair, or poor. And then you also have the grading criteria. So later on, what you will see is that once you will be checking, you will just be clicking on these parts.
And sa student side naman, they can also get to see these rubrics. So they are also guided. So if you post an assignment or an activity which the student has to work on, they will be guided kasi nakikita nila mismo yung rubric. So alam nila kung ano yung mga points that they have to really work on to achieve a good grade for that particular activity.
Yeah. So if you notice, ito yung mga students mo. This is the assignment. Ito po yung mga nag-return. And ito po, you can add a feedback here, and then the grades here will be based on the rubric that you gave them, no? The grading, the rating that you gave based on the rubric. So 50 out of 50, itong si Enrico. So you can now look at the grades. This is already, parang palapit na tayo sa end ng quarter, ano? Kasi we already have the grades, Sir Dave. So yesterday, you might want to say more about our grades tab.
Yeah, you can. It's really just very organized, no? So we can also export this one to Excel kasi I know for a fact na sa ating mga teachers na nasa DepEd, they have templates for the grading sheets. So if you wanted to just copy and paste that on your grading sheets sa mga templates na provided po sa inyo, you can just export these grades to Excel format, and then you can just copy and paste the values on that particular template. Para good for printing na lang. So it's actually a less of a hassle for you to write it down or manually typing in the grades if that is a concern. No, so just export it to Excel, copy and paste it to your template, and you're good to go for printing.
See, so madali lang, di ba? Very seamless from making the material to handing it out to the students, to assessing it, and then coming up with the grades, all in just one app, ladies and gentlemen. And then another good thing is Insights. So what Insights does is that it creates data. Alam nyo naman ngayon, napakahalaga ng data. Pinag-aagawan ang data ngayon. And as an educator, we need to have an idea of how people are doing or engaging in the entire app. What is the average grade, or what is the average on-time assignment? No? Lahat ba nagsasend on time? Or average ng time for feedback and communication activity. Nag-uusap ba sila? Are they communicating with each other, or hindi lang siya, or is the student only doing his work on his own? So you can monitor student growth and learning in the Insights tab. And I always recommended it. We discovered this during summer, right, Sir Dave? Kasi everyday kailangan mo maalaman kung if students are doing well, kasi everyday yung summer class namin. So we introduced Insights to our summer school teachers, and you can actually choose a student, no? And you can identify, yan. So communication activity niya is, you can learn there, no? You can learn how many posts, how many replies, how many reactions. Kung dead ba si student or hindi. Kung active ba si student or hindi. Okay, so educators can evaluate student interactions and use data to inform future plans. No? So pag sinabing, say for example, ni mother or ni father na, uy, yung anak ko na he's always facing his computer, pero sa communication activity low. So pwede mo itong mapakita sa mga parents in terms of, and you have proof that they are actually communicating or using the app when it is asked for them to do so. No? And then you can also have the average time for feedback, and then of course yung handling of assignments din. If how many times ba yung student nag-submit on time, how many times makikita mo siya. And you can I use the Insights during parent teachers consultation days, no? So that's yung PTC namin, that's what I use so that I can explain more to the parents how their son or daughter is actually doing. So I guess that's it. We were able to cover Microsoft Teams, how to do posts, meetings, and our assignments, a little bit of OneNote class notebook, grading, and Insights. So I guess we are done with our demo. It's very from start to finish. No, we were able to do it from coming up with a class to grading and being able to accomplish everything in a quarter, and then another cycle na naman for the next quarter. So I guess that's it for our demo today. So thank you also to Sir Dave for giving his insights regarding this demo and some of the tips that we have. And I think we are ready to answer some questions. And also I think we can have Miss Grace and of course our amazing tutor Madge and tutor Ariel with us. So salamat po. I hope you guys enjoyed that tour.
Yes, thank you, Sir Nets, and thank you to everyone. No? Again, yung link po, I think that's already been shared sa ating sa group chat. So kindly take a look at it. If you wanted to do the virtual tour on your own, yun nga, the link has been posted. So we are now open for the questions.
Okay, so thank you, Sir Dave, Sir Nits. Just to also give my comments and insights, no, thank you for walking us through that. And yun nga, I think the discussion kasi was centered, on una, how do teachers set up their classes? Second, how can students get started? And number 3, how can parents be assured na itong environment na binibigay natin sa ating students ay actually it's a safe environment where our students can express themselves, and also an opportunity na for parents also to support their students kasi nga I think yun din yung component na super kailangan, especially ngayon na remote at hybrid yung ating learning setup. So thank you for sharing your insights on that, Sir Nitz and Sir Dave. Sir Madge, any comments muna bago tayo mag Q&A?
Yes, Miss Grace, again, thank you Sir Nitz and Sir Dave. At talagang marami kami, sigurado ako mismo marami akong natutuhan ngayong araw regarding Microsoft Teams, and yun nga, dun sa mga assignments and other stuff na talagang si teacher ay magagamit niya. And yung link na nakikita natin sa baba, wow, binabrowse ko. Para rin ako pwede nga ikaw mismo mag-self-explore sa ating mga teachers. Pinaikli lang natin yung tiny URL natin. So ETU MS Teams Demo. Explore nyo po on your own. Talagang may-amaze kayo sa features ng Microsoft Teams.
Okay, so meron pong couple of questions that we saw earlier. So I will ask this sa ating speakers now. So number 1, Sir Nitz, Sir Dave, need daw po ba ng students mag-download and install ng Teams para magamit ang Teams?
Sir Nitz, I think you can answer that.
Nakamute si Sir.
Nakamute si Sir Nitz.
Hindi, ikaw na yung mag-answer kasi ikaw naman yung...
Sige. Alright, yun nga, as mentioned kanina, yung Microsoft Teams naman can work on different devices and different platforms. So if you're using yung mobile phone, tablet, laptop, or desktop computer, you just need to ask your students to download it across all platforms naman and device. Available po siya. So compatibility is not an issue. If it's iOS or Android or Windows, pwede po siyang ma-install sa device niyo.
Of course, may differences between web lang siya na version, tsaka yung phone version, at tsaka yung may mga differences, slight differences, at tsaka yung desktop talaga na app or sa laptop niyo na i-download. So of course for stability para sa mga teachers, para hindi lang siya web-based lang siya. The app, the Teams app is the best way to do it. Pero of course yung mga notifications na lang, pwede mo na yun siyang i-read dito, no? Pwede mo na lang i-answer yung mga students or if you need to call them later on. But basically when we are doing like things like this, like doing a lecture or an activity like this one, mas important we use the one that is the one that is the app, no, the Windows, rather the Microsoft Teams app.
Just to add lang din, Sir Nitz and Sir Dave, no, like yun nga sabi niyo, like pag nanonood ka lang ng webinar or parang nanonood ka lang ng live lesson ng teacher, actually pwede mo rin ma-access yun sa browser lang. So for example, walang naka-install na Teams sa iyong laptop or sa phone mo. Actually, pag kinlik mo lang yung link, meron siyang browser version. So talagang it's available across any device kasi browser pa lang, kahit browser lang, pwede mo nang ma-access yung Teams as long as you have your account. Which leads me to my second question. How can teachers and students access again their free Microsoft account so that they can access their Teams account? Sir Dave, pa-repeat na lang po nung ating kanina.
Yes, yun po. For teachers po, you can get your Microsoft official account for DepEd, no? For DepEd teachers, you can get your Microsoft accounts from your division ITOs, IT officers, or from your regional ITOs. And then for learners naman or for parents, you can get your Microsoft accounts from your respective schools' ICT coordinators.
Yes. Thank you. Ayan, Miss Grace, meron pa tayong isang question. I-flash ko from Ma'am Rizalina Plan Jimenez. Sir, pwede po bang i-add mga pupils ko? Ang gamit nila ay any email. Hindi ko po sila mai-add. I'm using cellphone. Pero if I send the link, we use it very easy and enjoyable.
Sir Nitz, Sir Dave, like to take the question?
Sige, I think I can answer that one. Yeah, pwede naman actually. Like kanina nga na share ko nga we can actually share the link, or we can ask other people outside the organization to join the meeting, and then we can just share the meeting link to anyone for them to be able to access the conversation or yung actual na meeting. Pero there is a some kind of risk then if you just share it to anyone in public. So it's really recommended na we use our official Microsoft accounts given by DepEd. So although this one is possible naman po, and we do appreciate na you get to you have it's easy and enjoyable po, pero siguro later on we also need to consider yung privacy and security din po ng ating mga learners, especially that I think you made mention about pupils, so I'm assuming na these are students from elementary, no? So we need to also take note into consideration yung privacy nga and security of our learners.
Yeah, and again, to add to what Dave said, pwede siya. But on our end, like say, for example, in a private school or private institution, we want to also make sure na yung enrolled students lang namin ang nakaka-join, di ba? Baka naman ibang school na yung pumunta naka-join. So again, that's why they are already given an account. And that account, which is based ng domain ng school, is something that they can use for the entire duration of their stay. So it becomes a professional, and then they don't get to lose their data or their files because it's already there, no? Galing grade school pa nila or high school hanggang mag-college sila, they can already use that account for Microsoft Teams as long as they're with the organization.
That's good. And again, safety talaga. Safety online and safe environment para sa mga bata kahit sila gamit nila ay online. So ito hindi question, Miss Grace, Sir Dave, and Sir Nitz. Sabi niya, good morning, watching from San Lorenzo Ruiz de Manila School of Marikina City. We are using Microsoft Teams in our school, and I agree that this tool is very helpful to us teachers and our students. Very handy. Para may patotoo tayo.
Good to hear.
Thank you.
Natuturo ako ng section ng Lorenzo Ruiz. So hi to all my students. Ayan.
Alright. Okay. So, may question pa po ba tayo?
We have, I see one more from Remy. Can we pull it up, Sir Madge? So while Sir Madge is pulling it up, the question is, can we control the posting of assignments? Like for example, pwede daw ba naka-schedule ang assignments? Kasi I think may mga teachers na gustong start pa lang ng SEM, naka-ayos na lahat, di ba? So,
yes, you can actually parang assign the date when it will be posted, para hindi naman sagad-sagad. So you can have it on a particular day or time that you want it to be posted. Usually I have it after my synchronous session. So I just tell them by 11 o'clock it will be up. So it will appear already there as an assignment para hindi naman mabigla yung mga students. And then you can also, aside from the assigning of the dates of when to post it, you can also assign when it will be due. There's a soft deadline, and there's also a hard deadline that you can actually use na pag okay lang yung late, pwede pa. Meron din pwede close talaga para mga exam or parang mga end of summative test na kailangan mo siyang i-close.
Yeah. Okay. Yan. So again, yun nga, ang what I love about the assignment features in Teams nga is yun nga, pwedeng formative, pwedeng summative, di ba? So definitely you can customize that at this is one of the favorite features ng mga teachers talaga natin kasi nga at least with this feature, no, automatically nasi-send out na sa lahat ng students yung assignment. So thank you for that.
You can also add using forms, Microsoft Forms. It's a great app where you can actually create quizzes already, right, Sir Dave? So pwede mo nang i-assign yung mga answers. So every time a student will be able to finish it after it's done, they will already know their score. Did you check it? Wala. Kasi nilagay mo na yung mga answers doon. So iba mo na lang yung parang mga reflection questions. So it's another form. Pero usually, if you have, say for example, quantitative. So for example, if you have 1 point for each item, multiple choice, or all of those ideas na one answer questions lang, then you can already have feedback. This can already provide feedback to your students. Agad-agad. You don't even have to check it kasi it will be checked already by Microsoft Teams.
Nakamute si Sir Madge.
Hindi na manual checking yung gagawin ni teacher. And
Yes.
alam niyo yan, yung tedious task to item analysis pa nga, di ba?
Oo, yung manual check, yun na lang sa mga responses, yung sa mga reflection, which is more important, kailangan mong basahin yun for you to see what your students have learned.
Alright, so may isa pa tayong comment. Ito, ang layo ng isa sa participants natin, watching from Puerto Princesa City. Thank you for the learnings, and I'm willing to share new ideas with my co-teachers for the incoming SLAC or Slack sessions. Kudos to everyone. Thank you, Ma'am Melody Domingo.
I also see one of the principals po from the division of Lapu-Lapu City. Actually, isa silang showcase incubator, si Ma'am Lina. Hi, Ma'am Lina!
Ayan.
Yan, so nagamit na daw nila yung Office 365 sa buong campus nila, sa buong school nila. At yun nga, ginagamit nila yung team. So, hi, Miss Lina! Thank you for watching.
Hello, Miss Lina. Thank you po. Ayan. So maraming salamat po sa ating mga online participants, and of course sa ating resource speakers for this morning. So for giving us your time and of course your expertise, pag-share ng mga best practices po ninyo, and sigurado ako talagang marami kayo na-inspire na hindi lamang teachers, also school leaders who would like to implement and of course talagang gamitin talaga itong Microsoft Teams na all-in-one na. San ka pa? Wala ka na hanapin pang iba. Right, Miss Grace?
Yes. Okay. Sir Madge, pwede ko bang i-share sa mga teachers yung ating libreng portals just so that if they want to learn more about Teams and best practices, pwede nilang
Sure.
kunin ang mga inspiration from there. Okay, so quickly, I'll share my screen. Okay, mabilis lang to. Yan. Okay. So, to all of the teachers watching today, if you know, teaching mo kayo or non-teaching ko, meron po tayong resource sa Microsoft called the Microsoft Educator Center. This is our free training and resource portal wherein we populate our best practices and new information whenever we release new products or if meron po tayong bagong trainings na sa tingin namin ay makaka-benefit sa inyo as teachers. So, ang URL po ng ating website ay education.microsoft.com. Libreng-libre lang po yan at ang kagandahan po ng website na ito is that every time you finish a course, you get to answer an assessment, and once you pass that assessment, pwede po kayo magkaroon ng points at ng certificates if meron po siyang corresponding certificates. Okay, at may good news po ako sa inyo today dahil umattend po kayo ng ating training led by Sir Nitz and Sir Dave. Meron po kayong points na makukuha. So all you need to do is first, punta muna kayo sa education.microsoft.com at ipa-flash ko po ngayon yung code ni Sir Nitz at ni Sir Dave. Yan. Yan. So, i-claim nyo po yan sa ating website at meron po yung corresponding points. At kapag hindi pa po kayo certified Microsoft Innovative Educator, automatically when you input this code in your profile, you will get the certificate, the recognition as a certified Microsoft Innovative Educator. Okay?
Yippee! Wow! So thank you so much, Miss Grace. O, diba? Hindi lang isang certificate ang ma-receive ng ating mga teachers. Meron pa coming from Microsoft. And sa mga questions natin regarding e-certificate ay sa mga bago pa lang po sa ating mga EdTech webinars. Again, we're utilizing our LMS, our training.deped.gov.ph. So again, that's training.deped.gov.ph. Ipa-flash natin yan ng ating webinar director sa ating banner mamaya. So makikita po ninyo. Mag-enroll lang po kayo kung first-timer or kung hindi naman, i-log in lang kayo at hanapin ang course natin ng Microsoft Teams for Remote and then enroll lang po and then answer our 10-question na quiz. Madali lang yan, di ba, Miss Grace? Kayang-kaya
nyo yan.
Perfect.
Nakinig kayo today.
And then, mada-download nyo na po ang ating Certificate of Participation. And reminder lamang po third Saturday na natin ngayon dahil next week ay ating last Saturday. And kapag nakompleto po ninyo ang ating 4 sessions, you will receive your certificate of recognition. It's a national certificate. Ayan, so kapit lang kayo sa ating mga teachers. Meron pa tayong isang Sabado. Alright, so now, nandito na tayo sa next part natin ng ating webinar, which is the awarding of our certificate of appreciation para sa ating dalawang magigiting at talagang magagaling, mahusay nating resource speakers. So may I call in our head for our EdTech unit, Mr. Mark Anthony CC, to award the certificate of appreciation sa ating mga resource speakers this morning. Sir Mark, ito po kayo. Nasa opisina lang po kami ngayon at kasama ko pa si Sir Mark. Ayan, lapit na lang Sir Mark. Ayan. Sir, ang headset. Ito po ang ating certificate.
So thank you to our resource speakers for the day. So allow me to read the citation. Republika ng Pilipinas, Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Services, DepEd Complex, Meralco Avenue, Pasig City. This certificate of appreciation is presented to Mr. Anito Librando Jr. from Xavier University, Ateneo de Cagayan, for sharing his valuable knowledge as guest speaker during the setting up a virtual classroom in Microsoft Teams for teachers and students conducted by the ICTS Educational Technology Unit on the 20th of February 2021. Given this 20th day of February 2021 in DepEd Central Office, Meralco Avenue, Pasig City, Philippines, with the OUA memo number 000221-0109, signed by yours truly, Mark Anthony C., the head of the ICTS Educational Technology Unit, Director Abram Y.C. Abanil of ICTS, and the Undersecretary for Administration, Yusek Alain Del B. Pascua. Congratulations, Sir Anito. Okay. Same citation goes to, allow me to read it. Certificate of appreciation is presented to Mr. Michael Dave Tan from SDO Cagayan de Oro City for sharing his valuable knowledge as guest speaker during the setting up a virtual classroom in Microsoft Teams for teachers and students conducted by the ICTS Educational Technology Unit on the 20th of February 2021, given this 20th day of February 2021 in DepEd Central Office, Meralco Avenue, Pasig City, Philippines, with OUA memo number 00-0221-0109, signed by yours truly, Mark Anthony C., head of the ICTS Educational Technology Unit, by Director Abram Y.C. Abanil, the ICTS Director, and the Undersecretary for Administration, Yusek Alain Del B. Pascua. Congratulations, Sir Michael. Yay.
Yay! Thank you, thank you. So, siguro po, in behalf din po of our team at Microsoft Philippines, again, we would like to extend our gratitude and thank you to our two amazing speakers who are also Microsoft Education Ambassadors. Sir Nitz and Sir Dave, thank you for spending your time with us and for sharing your best practices. Also, thank you din po sa lahat ng Microsoft Education Ambassadors na once again ay nandito po sa comment section at nakikichat po sa ating mga teachers, learners at manunood. And of course, maraming salamat po sa DepEd EdTech Unit for the opportunity to partner and deliver you this webinar sessions. We will be back again next week. So, sabi nga na Sir Madge, wag po kayong BBTO dahil meron pa po tayong isa pang napaka-exciting na session. So, Sir Madge?
Yes, thank you again, Miss Grace. And again, kami po ay meron pa po kaming isa pang session this afternoon. So, take your lunch at yung iba natin mga teachers na nagpe-prepare, naghahanda kasama ang kanilang pamilya. Enjoy your meal, enjoy your lunch po. At sa hindi pa naman or namamalengke pa, ingat po kayo. At kung kayo ay kumakain na, sinamahan nyo kami habang kayo ay nagsisession. Maraming salamat po. Sir Mark, any message sa ating mga teachers po?
Thank you. So, to all of our teachers who are currently watching, meron tayong team replay. Kasama ninyo ako magre-replay ng episodes dahil we conducted session tayo sa kanina. So, please enjoy learning at ang technology po ay nandiyan para gamitin natin at ma-enhance ang ating skills. Nandito po ang Microsoft, nandito po ang Educational Technology Unit to guide you along the way. patapos na ang second quarter, meron tayong magiging 2 weeks break. Gamitin natin ng maayos ang break na ito to enhance our skill and learn new things. And if you do have questions, we are just one message away in the FB page of EdTech Unit at sisikapin po namin na masagot ang inyong mga katanungan. And again, congratulations to all of us. Hey! Thank you to our resource speakers for the day. Maraming salamat po.
Ayan. Thank you, Sir Mark. And again, ito na yung last part natin, which is our shout-out section na, our session. Si Sir Nitz, baka meron po kayong nice batiin, and Sir Dave, si Sir Nitz po muna. Sige po.
Okay, so once again, thank you very much for inviting me here. Thank you, DepEd and Tech Unit. This has been an amazing opportunity to share our experience with the rest of our teachers, our parents, and students. Of course, thank you to Tutor Madge, Tutor Ariel, and Sir Mark, of course, for this opportunity. And of course, to Microsoft Philippines, Grace ko. Thank you very much. And to all our teachers, laban lang po to do this together, and this is all for the students that we are all serving. So once again, have a nice weekend to everyone.
Sir Dave?
Yes, thank you, DepEd and Tech Unit, for inviting me. I have really enjoyed sharing. And this is really a good opportunity, and I'd just like to give a shout out to all our teachers from DepEd Division of Cagayan de Oro City, headed by our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Cherry May Limbaco. And we also would like to, I'd also like to greet all the teachers from Xavier Ateneo Junior High School with Sir Nitz. So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you'll have a good weekend.
Yes, again, thank you, Sir Dave and Sir Nitz. Miss Grace, maraming salamat po. And meron lang kaming ipa-flash na ating evaluation or post-training evaluation para sa ating mga teachers na nag-participate today. So ito po yung nakikita ninyong link sa baba. That's tinyurl, ETUMS Tech Talk 3. So para sa inyo po yan, ating mga participants, kung paano pa namin mas mapagaganda ang ating mga next sessions ngayong at mga susunod pa na mga Microsoft training natin. And with that, again, ako po ang inyong Tutor Madge. Si Tutor Ariel ay nasa biyahe on the way sa office. Ingat ka, Tutor Ariel, sa pagbiyahe. Kami po muli ang inyong mga host para sa umagang ito. And mamaya po ay meron pa tayong My Tech Talk naman, which is facilitated by our Microsoft Education Ambassadors and also ating mga EdTech specialists from Davao and Cebu. So muli po, kita-kits po next Saturday. Shoutout sa lahat ng taga Antipolo, SDO Antipolo City, and lahat ng ating mga teachers, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, at saan man kayo sa panig ng mundo. Maraming salamat po. Ingat kayo palagi. Stay strong and healthy. Paalam!
Cognizant to the needs of our learners, parents, and teachers, the Department of Education provided us with powerful tools for productivity that will allow us to foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills to be compassionate, responsible global citizens. Join us and discover new ideas in our series of professional development training program with the ICTS EdTech Unit and Microsoft Education Philippines. Together, we will equip our learners and empower our fellow educators for a dynamic future. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong Edukalidad.